importantly, it's safe. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. It's just a short drive down I-5 or anytime at mbfstockton.com.
KHDK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SacktownSports.com and the Sacktown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
All right, here's what's going on here today. This is kind of silly, but you're nice enough to spend some time with us. We appreciate that. So I'll just let you know what's going on. Jay, I don't think you know about this either. You may. But, yesterday we spent a lot of time on the show talking about a report from Grant Afseth out of Dallas that said that the Kings had talked about Trae Young with the Hawks, and they are interested in Darius Garland. And Kyle and I were going back and forth on the show asking who is this guy, frankly? How would he know these things that people closely connected to the Kings don't know? So as we discussed that, and then someone started hitting us up on the text line claiming to be Grant Afseth. And the person appeared to be upset, but it didn't really ring true to me. I didn't think it was him. I know, Jay, you tried to reach out to the person, right? Anyway, the reason we were even talking about Grant Afseth is because, well, he had that report. Also, Alan and Kyle Ledbetter were trying to have him on yesterday. And so Alan Stiles has been in touch with him. Jay, Alan thinks that really was Grant Afseth who was getting in touch with us yesterday. But I told him you reached out to him and it was not a legitimate number.
Yeah, it was a Google number. Pick that phone up, champ.
Yeah. So
hey, you can't be a legitimate reporter with a Google number. That don't work for me. I called it 214 number.
I know you did.
We ain't ducking no smoke on the Drive Guys.
I know you did.
So you can tell Alan and Kyle and everybody else, man. How about he put his real statistics up?
Right. Right.
If he wanted to be a true beat reporter, stop hiding behind that Google number and give me that real number.
All right. Yeah, we're maybe we'll talk to him. Things have gotten not out of hand, but as far as I'm concerned, they've gotten away from me a little bit on this. It's like, what is going on? So anyway, that's where all that is. I was just assuming yesterday we referenced this on the show that, it's not really him. So someone's just having fun with this, but it might actually been him. So maybe we'll talk to him today. We'll find out.
Well, that's fine, but don't hit me with that Google number. That's it. That's all I know. You working with a Google number? You ain't no company, no business. Mm-hmm. You're allegedly a credentialed NBA reporter. I believe that's what it says on his
bio.
His bio. Yeah, I was gonna say Twitter, but his ex bio. So that's the case. Don't be hiding behind that Google number, champ.
Right. I don't have anything against him. Sounds like he didn't appreciate some of the things we said, if that was really him. But we'll find out. Yeah.
Is he coming on tomorrow for Allen and them?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Kyle's right behind you. Kyle Ledbetter just said.
So wait a minute.
So that's what I don't understand.
They've reached out to him,
right?
And there's been no confirmation from him.
Yeah.
But he's hot. He's trying to holler at people.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Some of it doesn't quite add up.
Yeah. So come on now.
There may be, and Alan also reached out to him and let him know if that wasn't you, then you have an imposter. So
right.
So we don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, listen, I'm here to say right now, and I'm not speaking for you guys, you, Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper. If that is your number, please text in, send your real number, and I'll call that as well. Mm-hmm. I have no problem calling that.
Yeah.
Texting it, emailing, Pony Express, pigeon message, pigeon carrier, smoke signals, whatever is it, fax. You know.
Fax it. BlackBerry.
Put it here, right? Exactly. Whatever version he needs, we'll do it.
I'm still
put it in the cargo ship.
I would still bet a message in a bottle that it's not him, because how would he be monitoring the show and then text it? But anyway, so that's I just want to let you know as our show begins here.
I appreciate
just talking to Alan, and that's kind of what we're sifting through. It is amazing that people around here, maybe it's again because there just isn't a lot else to talk about with the Kings right now, but there's still a lot of dialogue about the Kings and Trae Young and Darius Garland. And I think a lot of it, Jay, as I keep saying, is just people are so hungry for anything. We could easily light the match to we wouldn't do this, but to a totally irresponsible rumor about the Kings are talking to so-and-so about something, and I would almost guarantee you that 3 days from now, people would be talking about it. They'd be, oh, I heard this, and yes, this is what I heard. I mean, that's just kind of the environment right now that we're living in.
That definitely is the environment that we're in. Plus, you mix it in with the fact of who we are connected to the Kings and so many different avenues and who we are. And
that would be irresponsible. Yeah, we wouldn't do that.
We ain't doing that. But yeah, you're 100% right. I've said it numerous times, and I'll say it 100 times. No disrespect to a lot of the beat reporters here in Sacramento. No disrespect to people who cover the team, because we have some people who do great jobs. No doubt about it. But there are so many, and Draper has said this, there's so many things that happen that we don't report, we don't talk about. And if some of the things that kind of came from behind closed doors, just a text message or a phone call or a meeting, or you just so happen to see somebody at the grocery store, people will blow that up too, you know? And so it's just part of the game. It's just who we, as you said, the atmosphere that we're playing in the situation of the Kings fans and Kings Kingdom who they're watching right now.
I do suspect that the Kings are talking to just about anybody they can about a point guard. And I think that's maybe being a little bit misrepresented in this case. And again, I'm not reporting this. This is my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not citing sources.
We don't need to start doing that, do we, Whitey?
Well, I just want people to know that I'm not claiming to, this is what my sources tell me. No, I'm just observing. I think the Kings are talking to a lot of different people, a lot of different players. And I think it's coming out that they talked to this guy, that they're interested in Tyus Jones. So the way it's reported is they have targeted Tyus Jones, or they talked to the Hawks about Trae Young. They've identified Darius Garland as a trade target. I think, Jay, honestly, the Kings have pretty much identified everybody who's a point guard who's available. That's the target right now.
Yes.
Everybody who's available and is a point guard, that's who they're looking at, talking to. So I think it gets a little misrepresented in that, oh, they're talking to that guy. That's the guy they want. No, they're looking at everybody right now who's available.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think that kind of goes back to what I was saying Monday, which is what they should be doing.
Yeah.
And the perfect word is evaluating. I think they're evaluating what the market, who was on the market, first of all.
Yeah.
Secondly, what their value is on the market. The Kings are ready to barter. It seems like they're open for business. We had Rafael Barlow on yesterday, who said, and we could play it, the Kings are aggressively looking to move up in the draft. Now, that's what he's been hearing. His sources, have told him that. But you believe it or not, it is what it is. But I think we've heard that enough that I believe they are trying to jump back into the first round. I think that's a given. Most people believe that. When you compare that to, and I thought about this, it just popped on my mind. I'm going to have to reach out to like Lauren Williams or somebody down there who covers the Hawks. Is Trae Young even tied on the market right now? We hear Trae Young on the market every single year.
Do that.
Yeah, like, chance. Is he really on the market? We consistently hear about Trae Young being on the market. So I'll try to reach out and see if we can grab somebody down from the ATL real fast to talk about that. But I do think they're evaluating the entire market, 100%.
Yeah. Our guy, Rafael Barlow, and I forget where I saw this. It was on X, but I forget who he talked to. He talked to somebody else about the Hawks. And apparently today or yesterday, he said that from what he hears, the Hawks are also trying to trade, I think they're 2 first rounders to move up in the first round. And one of those picks would be the pick that they got from the Kings. So
really?
A lot of teams are right now circling, and they're moving, and they're trying to figure things out, and they're chipping away at stuff. So we'll know a lot more when the draft finally arrives. But for now, you got a lot of teams doing their due diligence, and that means making a ton of calls and asking about a lot of players.
Yeah, definitely. And as you should.
Yes.
It's that period of time in the NBA. As right now, it was interesting because I was talking to somebody from the celebrity golf tournament on Monday. And
I'm going to go with Steve Berline.
And I text Steve. We should have Steve on here with it pretty soon.
I'm going to go with that kicker from the USFL that came after
Gary Sauer.
Yeah.
It was on top of your helmet,
He
brother.
was definitely sour.
Someone in Draper were making fun of me because someone asked, "Hey, Jay, do you golf?" I said, "No, I don't. Never played a round of golf in my life. I've only swung a driver a few times." And they were like, "Oh no, you have to do. You got to get out there. You got to get out there. Look at the people. Look at the fanfare. It's a great sport." And I said, "Well, the one thing I've always realized, and you've heard this, there's a lot of business deals that happen on the golf course.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things, handshakes,
winks, nods.
I was gonna say winks and nods, right?
Yeah.
Winks and nods. That business gets done on the golf course, and so I say that in the form of tis the season right now for celebrity golf tournaments. As Draper said yesterday, you see a bunch of people who's on par to play on so many different tournaments right now. They're on the circuit.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing
Here
with
he is,
the
by
NBA.
the way, Kyle Draper joining
Is Kyle Draper finally here?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, he pump faking. Yeah, look at him, man. You see what I'm saying? Who is somebody that comes to the game not prepared? Who is somebody not prepared? Who? Buddy Hield. He's the Buddy Hield of the station today. Okay.
How are you, Drapes? You were making.
Let him get prepared. He's not even prepared yet.
I know.
See what I'm saying? He's pulling out his wave cap. Look, you got a wave cap. No headphones.
I didn't want to interrupt your point you were making.
No, but I'm just saying. Drape said this.
Yeah.
There is a circuit for celebrity golf tournament. 'Tis the season right now.
Yeah.
There's so many tournaments going on. Drapes has already played in a few itself.
Yep.
It is that time for NBA talk, for NBA discussion, for rumors, for sources, people close to the team.
Hypotheticals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's that movement right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're trying to do here on the Drive, guys, is sift through that.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to get through that.
Yeah.
We're trying to navigate those waters. But hopefully Scott Perry is right in the mix of all those conversations.
Yeah, we were talking, Drapes, about the fact that Alan Stiles seems to think that the guy who was reaching out to us on the text line yesterday, he thinks it really was Grant Afseth.
Oh, is he still reaching out?
I don't know. I explained to Alan why we didn't think so.
Why would he think that?
I don't know.
He got some insight.
Yeah.
Is that the number Kyle called or tried to hit him up, or?
It's unclear at this time.
Yeah.
So we're trying to sort that out. I still don't think it was actually him.
I don't think so either. Jay called. It was a Google Voice number.
Come on.
Yeah.
Afseth wouldn't have that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If that's his main number. Yeah.
When we come back, we'll take a look at tonight's resumption of the NBA Finals, a stunning stat that has to get better for the Pacers. And we'll check in with Drapes, too, of course, when we come back to Sacktown Sports.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for the Employee Pricing Plus sales event?
Anyone can get you employee pricing, but at Hoblet, it's all about the plus that you can only get here. Save up to $13,000 off MSRP on brand new 2025 heavy-duty Ram 2500 and 3500s. We have over 500 new Rams available, so your new Ram is waiting at Hoblet.
Well, how do you like the new heavy-duty trucks?
I love it. I took the new Ram 2500 with the high-output diesel and 8-speed transmission to Tahoe last weekend. And I have to say, I've not had this much fun driving a new truck in a long time. I've been driving diesels for 25 years, and this is easily the most fun, most powerful, and most responsive truck so far.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
13,000 total net savings on select new 2025 Ram 2500 and 3500 Laramie after 4,000 factory rebates and 9,000 dealer discounts. Rebates may include 2,500 select inventory bonus cash and $500 on the job upfit. Must show eligible upfit. Aid to this net savings. Sample VIN 525043. See dealer for details.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents it's local, but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
I don't mean to get too graphic. Yesterday I had to miss a part of the beginning of the show because, frankly, I had to use the restroom. That's not a bad excuse, but Kyle Draper has the best excuse. He joined us a little late today, but apparently he was talking to the bosses downstairs. If you're talking to them and they're okay with you not being up here,
exactly.
I don't know what better excuse you could have.
Hey, they know what time the show starts.
Yes, they do.
They didn't say, all right, Kyle, you got to get up there or anything. We just blew past that stop sign.
Yeah.
And so we kept going.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, down there with Val and Jose and trying to get some business taken care of. But I'm
Very
here
nice.
now. I'm
Very
locked
nice.
in. I'm dialed in
Yeah,
right now.
we had a very nice function downstairs today. Tom Maley, who has been at KNCI forever, he's moving on. He's going to do more with his fishing business, and I've had the pleasure of working with Tom for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Great guy. So that was nice to do that as well today, and all the best to Tom Maley.
Shout out to Tom. And he is my guy.
Is he?
Yeah, he's my guy.
Does he know that?
Yeah, he knows that. He knows
Good.
that. He knows that because
He had a creepy captain's hat on today.
did he really? A few months ago, probably 4, 5, 6 months ago, I was looking to take the kids on the water at Folsom Lake.
Yeah.
And, a friend of mine, she suggested, oh, you got to call Tom up. She didn't know Tom from the radio, but she knew him from the fishing.
Oh.
And so reached out to Tom, and unfortunately he was out of town, but he put me in contact with somebody else. And this guy took, me and the kids out on the water fishing, caught some salmon and everything. And so, but then Tom got back in town and he rode up on his boat and said hi to us and everything like
very
that.
Nice.
So got to see him in person.
Yeah.
So shout out to
Absolutely.
Tom, my guy.
All the best.
My
Pat
guy.
and Tom are what the rest of us hope we can become
Yes.
if we
Legends.
ever grow up. Yeah,
Legends.
absolutely.
Yes.
The best. Hopefully we'll see the best of the NBA Finals tonight, Drapes. Did you know that Tyrese Halliburton has yet to shoot a free throw in the finals?
I knew that. Yes, I
Wow.
did, and, I'm going to blame it on him. I'm going to put it squarely on his back. Tyrese got to be more aggressive, going to the basket, getting to the paint. It's like he's dancing outside the 3-point line and then dishing. Look at his shot attempts, Whitey. He's not even getting up, more than 14 shots a game for the first 2 games. And so he has to be more aggressive. He doesn't have to be a 30-point scorer. We said this yesterday, but he can't just be a role player.
Right.
You can't be a role player out there.
Tough for him. He has to be more aggressive in the eyes of many. But if you start forcing shots, OKC, you're just playing right into their hands, too.
Right, exactly. And so give OKC credit. This is what they do. They took away attempts from Anthony Edwards. They took away attempts from Jokic. This is what they do.
Mhm.
They try to limit your best player, your star player, and so far it's worked. I know the series is 1-1, but Tyrese, outside of that game winner, has been a non-factor in this series.
By the way, just got this text from Alan Stiles. Confirmed it was not
Of course.
Grant Afseth. I tried to tell him. Yeah.
Alan, man, I tell you what, man. He believes everything, man. First of all,
I think he just felt responsible. So, it's like, oh, no, I hope the guy's not upset, but we're fine.
and
it
why
wasn't
would
him.
Grant Afseth text our text line?
Right.
Just call up and talk to the
Right.
producer or something
Right,
like that.
right.
Or tweet at us
Yes.
on social media.
Yes,
The text line.
Right.
He's sitting in his basement, Twitter text
in
fingers.
Dallas listening
Right,
to the show.
right.
I'm going to text those guys on their text line.
Hold up here. I was late to the show for good reason. Did you guys start talking golf in Hagen Oaks or no?
No.
No.
All right, because UPS Chris, man, I took my 2 boys to the driving range at Hagen last night at 8:30. Had to wait 15 minutes to even get a spot. That place was crazy busy. I bring that up because I'm planning on hitting balls tonight at Hagen Oaks. And so if I got to wait 15, 20 minutes, that ain't happening.
You ain't. Who said that?
UPS Chris on
Well,
the
you
text
ain't
line.
UPS Chris, Mr.
All right. Yeah. Text
Don't
my
you have
boy.
your own stall?
I will by tonight. Let me text Tom Morton real quick and see if he can set that up.
No
for me.
disrespect to UPS Chris, because he's he or she, I'm not sure, is one of the Drive guys, extended family, but you're not that person.
Every
All right,
time
okay.
I drive by there, going
Packed
to
up.
work, coming back,
Yeah.
I just think, man, that'd be fun to do a show there, which we have done. Just do a show from
At the
driving
range? Oh,
yeah.
my God.
Well, let me
Yeah.
say this.
Yeah.
Hint, since you were talking to the bosses, Kyle Draper.
Yeah.
It's been arranged. We just need the bosses to sign off.
Oh,
So,
go back and talk to
I
the
mean, where
bosses
we at
again,
with
guys.
that, Kyle Draper?
What do you mean?
It's already been
just do
arranged.
it. Like,
I've already talked to the Morton family. The Morton family are extended family of the Drive Guys. We are locked and loaded to be able to broadcast from all 4 of their courses.
Now,
we just need the bosses to sign off.
Well, I did hear Jose did say there are 3 or 4 more golf tournaments coming up that, we're angling. But Jay, one thing I've learned, and this might get me in trouble, so you guys can sit this one out. You guys can sit this one out.
Record this for legal purposes.
You don't ask for approval. You tell the bosses, we are doing this on that day. So, Jay, pick a day, and we're going to broadcast live from Hagen Oaks. Jose, we're going to broadcast. Like, what's the negative to that other than having to hire Ramsey or Allen or somebody to, fill the board spot?
No negative. You just got to make sure everybody follows through. You don't want to be out there and then, where is everybody? Well, you didn't tell the proper people.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
But otherwise, I mean,
like we want to do big things here on the Drive Guys, man.
Yes.
You know what it's like, fellas. You know who we are. We're Tyrese Halliburton. And you come here, he comes here, plays under, the coach's staff. They kind of handcuff him. Then he goes to Indiana, and Rick Carlisle lets him run wild.
Gives him the keys.
Jose is our Rick Carlisle. Give us the keys, Jose. Let us do our thing. So that's
Jose Carlisle.
Let us do our thing, right? You know?
The reason I brought it up is when you go like towards downtown and you go past the driving range, there's people hitting back towards the main entrance to the driving range.
Yeah, they got the backside, right?
You can go to the back.
Yeah,
right?
go
If
to the
it's
back.
full tonight,
Yes.
you go to the backside. Yeah,
that's where I get my lessons from my guy Tom Morton at.
All right.
We drive around to the back.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's usually packed. I actually like that side better. They don't have the top tracer technology back there.
Don't you have the wind behind you when you're there? Because I know going out
I don't know.
to the driving range, a lot of times you're hitting into the teeth of that stiff wind.
On the main side?
Yeah.
Oh, I never even thought about that. Never even knew. No wonder.
Or maybe I just don't hit it that far.
My,
That was my excuse.
My 7-iron is carrying 190 from the backside over there. No, I never knew that. But I plan on going out there today and hit some balls. So.
All right. You're going to miss the finals game? Going to record it?
No, I got the iPad.
They got TVs out there.
They got
It's
TVs.
technology,
I got my
right?
iPad. I'm not going to miss the game. Trust me on that. I'm going to watch the game.
Oklahoma City has been called for 39 fouls. They've shot 57 free throws. They've made 50. Indiana has shot 47 free throws, and they've made 34. So that's a 16-point advantage from the foul line for OKC. That's pretty significant.
Home team, first 2 games. And Shea's one of the leaders in free throw attempts. I wonder how many he has.
He's 18 for 20.
So averaging 10 a game, basically.
And
That's
Tyrese, and like I said, that's not a part of the biggest part of his game, but he hadn't shot any yet.
Yeah. And, and I've seen, Pacer fans complain about Lou Dort's defense and Caruso and how they're able to allow to grab and hold and everything like that. It's been a theme for OKC. This is who they are. And how many times have we heard coaches say, well, they can't call everything. So that's OKC's mantra, And so I think it's the one thing, I don't consider Shea a foul merchant. And I don't like that, nickname for him, that moniker, but he does know how to draw attention to the slightest bit of contact. I don't think he's in there flopping around like a fish, and reacting to no contact. He gets hit and he makes sure the officials know it. Tyrese got to start doing that. I'm not saying throw your head back and like I said, flop like a fish, but you got to go in there. He's floating around the paint. I mean, the 3-point line too much too for me.
But Tyrese doesn't have that ability that Shea has. Shea, when he's, between defenders, it's almost like Barry Sanders or something.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
The way with the balance and Tyrese I love Tyrese. It's an observation, not a criticism, but he's a little more up and down.
Yeah. Or a little more straight line too.
Yeah.
Shea's kind of shifty.
Yes.
Yeah, he's kind of shifty. But how about this, Whitey? Here you go right here.
A snake is going to draw more fouls than a freaking giraffe.
Tyrese Halliburton, 26 shots. You like that line?
Ooh,
I don't know.
I don't know. I was like waiting to see if I got over that.
That's 100% true, man. Is you comparing them snake and giraffe?
Yeah.
All right, Shea's the snake, Tyrese the giraffe. Okay. Here you go. Tyrese Halliburton, 26 shots through 2 games. 15 of them 3-pointers.
Mm-hmm.
So the majority of his shots are coming from behind the arc. You're not going to get the foul calls.
Yeah.
Conversely, when I look at my guy, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who I've always been a huge fan of, even when he was at Kentucky, when I look at his numbers, Whitey, through the first 2 games, 51 shots, 10 3-point attempts. So 41 of his shots have come from 2-point range.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, right there.
Yeah.
You know, you get to the paint more, you shoot twos more, you get fouled more. That's just the law of, that's how it is.
One of the things that a lot of people have been saying about Shai during the postseason is he's bringing back the mid-range.
Yes. Yes. And to your point, man, he is slithery out there.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty smooth with it. And it'll be interesting to see if Tyrese is more aggressive out there, because we also got to factor in not only his few shot attempts, the majority of those are coming in the fourth quarter. It's like he's non-existent for 3 quarters, then all of a sudden, want to take 7 shots in the fourth or something like that.
Make it look better.
Yeah, make it look better.
Shai is Barry Sanders. Tyrese Halliburton is Eric Dickerson.
Oh,
straight up and down, straight line.
All right.
Both great running backs.
Yeah, Barry is short and shifty in the back there and everything. All right. That's 2 for 2 so far today, man. That's impressive. Impressive.
All right. We have an update on Kevin Durant.
Ooh.
And today's KD update includes mentions of wild card teams. You don't think, do you? Wild card?
Come on.
What?
What? Come on.
We'll look at it when we come back to Sacramento Sports.
For a lot of us, saving up a down payment can be the biggest barrier to buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with One Plus. Because everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places that I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia. I got a tour of their headquarters. I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. Try the TrackMan experience, the very best technology to fit your metal woods and irons. The new cutting-edge putter fitting studio with its $30,000 worth of technology is ready for your fitting. Hagen Oaks will help you find the best putter for your game. Hagen Oaks offers more technology, more choices, and more service. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531, 808-2531 for more.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So we had a huge new business pitch.
Attention, all hands on deck.
When, boom, our only printer was fried.
Up in smoke. Like your chances of landing that account.
Well, I just sent the file to Staples. Devin, the print associate, was on it. She had it printed and bound same day.
So where's the drama?
There wasn't any. Staples made it super easy.
Inconceivable. For the product, services, and experts you need, Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app.
We get it. Tariffs are tough. Power tools are getting expensive. But at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, we're solving that problem for 2 short days on June 20th and June 21st. We're putting all DeWalt power tools on massive discount. Batteries for less than $100. Combo kits for under $150. 20% off all regular price Tough System boxes and much, much more. So stop by Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet in Sacramento on June 20th and 21st for some of the lowest prices on tools you'll ever see this year. To see all of what's on sale, visit FastenersInc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Look, I'm not saying, I'm just saying here about Kevin Durant. What's the latest on Kevin
What you got
Durant?
for me?
Sham says teams that have expressed interest in Durant, sources said, mainly feature the Houston Rockets, the San Antonio Spurs, the Miami Heat, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the New York Knicks. Several wild card suitors have made inquiries on Durant in the past 7 to 10 days.
Wild card.
Wild card.
Okay.
What do you think, Drapes?
No. And I understand. We got to have content and everything.
I'm just asking. If it was the Kings, it was probably just, hey, what's going on with Durant? All right, thanks, goodbye.
So I will say this. I'm looking at Scott Perry's track record.
Yeah.
And he did try to recruit Kevin Durant to New York years ago. With that being said, Kevin Durant's 36, a lot of miles. And did you see the report, the extension?
Yes.
That the 2-year deal? Are we really trying to bring Kevin Durant in?
No.
Exactly. So it doesn't make sense to me for a Kings standpoint. And when I look at Scott Perry's track record at New York, one of the things he was able to do is get off some contracts, clear some cap space to be able to attract free agents. Now, they struck out on a lot of guys, you know. I wonder if that's sort of his MO here in Sacramento, and can that work, being we aren't really known as a free agent destination. And so if we bring Kevin Durant here at the extension numbers that people are, to me, that's a bad contract. And so I don't think we're in the mix on that. What you got? You got something?
Just in keeping with what we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, this is Evan Siddery. He says wherever Kevin Durant is traded, speaking of the extension, the strong indication is he will sign a 2-year, $120 million extension this offseason. That's the strong indication.
From who?
I don't know.
That's ridiculous.
That's what Siddery said.
Siddery got to get better.
Unless you saw it somewhere else.
No, but usually the strong indication comes from a team that is trading for Kevin. Wait, he ain't even got a team yet.
Right.
So, can you read that tweet again?
I would be happy to. Wherever Kevin Durant is traded.
So hold up, stop right there. 29 other teams. Wherever he goes, the strong
indication is he will sign a 2-year, $120 million extension this offseason. Now, he could be getting that from Durant's side because supposedly Kevin Durant and his people are meeting with some of these teams.
Okay,
so
all right,
maybe he has reason to believe that's one of the things they're laying out to teams. We don't want to go there unless we get this extension.
Okay.
Maybe.
So another way to reword that, and maybe he's protecting Kevin Durant's side, is Durant's looking for a 2-year, whatever the money was, $120 million or whatever it was, you know? So maybe he's protecting Durant's camp by phrasing it that way.
Yes. And then whoever wrote this for Athlon Sports says, while this is not a direct report, it's certainly fair to expect Durant to have a pre-agreed upon deal in place for wherever he lands to ink the said contract extension. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, makes sense.
But we'll see. We don't know anything yet.
Makes sense. I mean, we're going to have 2 more weeks of this before the draft. And I believe the draft is 2 weeks from yesterday? Tuesday, Wednesday. I think it's a 2-day draft.
That's right. It's 2 days now.
Yeah, it's 2 days
round.
now. First,
Second round is the second day.
Scott Perry got to move up. We can't have an entire day of NBA draft and no Kings news, right? We got to move up, right? We might as well take that day off then if we're not drafting anybody, if we're not moving up.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't got no Kings coverage that day.
I know.
We got to get back in the first.
Our buddy that we talked to yesterday, Raphael,
yeah,
he said that the Kings are one of the teams that are aggressively looking to move up. But he also told somebody else, and I know this because I saw it on X, he told somebody with the Hawks or covering the Hawks that Atlanta is looking to move up as well.
Really?
They're looking to move their 2 picks, one of which is the Kevin
Kings
Huerter pick, to get in higher up in the first round.
Really?
So that's one reason why we don't know anything. There's just a lot of moving parts. It's a lot of teams trying to get a lot done here.
Yeah, a lot. Do you think the Durant stuff impacts us at all? I mean, it looks like Giannis is staying in Milwaukee. That's what it looks like. Do you think the Durant stuff could hold us up from doing anything? Like, we need to see where that domino lands first before we do anything.
There's a school of thought, I'm sure you've heard, that there are some teams looking for, okay, Giannis can't get him. Durant, if we don't get him, what's next? Some people seem to think that DeRozan would be next on that list. I don't see that. I don't see him, as good as he is, as being anywhere near that type of player where teams would say, we want Giannis, we want KD, can't get them. We'll get DeRozan. Some people see that. I don't see it that way at all.
Yeah, that's, it's
he's not that type.
He's not that type player. He's not in that superstar category like those two guys are. And those two guys have won championships before. The knock on DeMar is, can you win with him? And so to me, that's why he's in a little bit of a different category than those two guys are.
I do think the Orlando stuff on the surface, again, this is speculating. I'm not pretending to have sources or to have heard anything. The Orlando stuff makes a lot of sense for the Kings.
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, and it kind of makes sense for Orlando too. It's it's that they need wing scoring. They need a veteran scorer as well. Offense was their issue this past season. And so it does make sense. Now, what are we getting back from the Orlando Magic? Is Cole Anthony enough? You
like Cole Anthony, right?
I do. I like Cole Anthony a lot. I like him. Just he's feisty. He's a dog. And I feel like he's found his footing in the NBA this past season. Remember, Cole Anthony got his spot taken by Jalen Suggs, but he stayed with it. And he made Markelle Fultz expendable also. Orlando chose him over Markelle Fultz. And so when I look at some of his numbers here, he played 67 games last season, Whitey, 18 minutes, but averaged close to 10 points and 3 assists in 18 minutes.
Could he be a bridge type point guard?
Yeah, he could be. He could be. Or he could be that distressed asset diamond in the rough that with a bigger role could turn into more. I just said 18 minutes and he averaged, if he plays 36 minutes, you do his per 36, you're talking close to 20 points per game, 6 to 7 assists. Like, I'm not saying you turn the keys over to him fully, but I think he can be a guy. And he defends, which you love. I know that. Let's look at his 3-point numbers. Why they haven't studied that. 35.3 this last year, 33.8 the previous year, 36.4. So not the best, but certainly not the worst, in the sort of middle of the pack. Probably could get better at that, but I think he's an option for us.
One of the things that gets complicated when you look at the Kings and potential deals is they don't have that many guys under contract.
Who?
The Kings.
Sacramento. Yeah. That's other than, some of their big names, right? I mean, Keon Ellis is a player option. You don't have Jay Crowder's contract, Jake LaRavia's contract, Trey Lyles' contract. There's a lot of guys, like you said, that are up. And so we don't have the contract unless it's a big name, one of our core guys. Think about it. Who can we trade that's not our core guy? Like Keon Ellis? Like everybody we have, I feel
pardon me, but you got his contractual situation has to be resolved too, right?
It got to be, You got to either pick up the option. You got to pick up the option. And so, no, you're right. We don't have a whole lot of $12 million contracts or $13, $14 million. We either got 40, 50, 40 or 25. We don't have $8 million deals or anything like that we can move.
Yeah.
I will say this. Remember, we do have that trade exception, $16 million from the Kevin Herter. I don't think we'll use it because, like I said yesterday, then we're talking about getting into the tax and everything. And whoever we bring in, does that person put us really into a top 3 championship level contender? Probably not.
Let me ask you this. We get your answer on the other side.
Yeah.
Is it important for the Kings to do something significant just from the standpoint of energizing your fan base? Is that something that they need to address? How important is that this offseason? Does it matter at all? We'll answer that when we come back to Sacktown Sports.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning? RV wins! Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast? RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates, other insurers, not available in all states and situations.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Giant Summer Sale and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Well, the latest class of the A's Hall of Fame will be inducted before the A's play the Reds on September 13th. And what a group, including longtime A's broadcaster Monty Moore and the big three, Hudson, Mulder, and Zito. And when those guys pitch together in the A's rotation over a 5-year span, their combined records 234 and 119. Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. It's how retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And it's how healthcare offices become data-managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business.
This summer, give your kids a reason to smile, brightly. At Kids Care Dental, we make dental visits fun with a kid-friendly team, easy to schedule appointments, and expert doctors who really care.
Whether it's a checkup, a cleaning, or their very first visit, we've got you covered. We accept most insurances, and we're always ready when your schedule gets hectic.
Smiles grow here. Book online in minutes at kidscaredental.com. That's kidscaredental.com. Kids Care Dental, where healthy teeth make happy kids.
An Australian hiker travels to the American West to walk a wilderness trail.
Wasn't afraid to be out on his own.
But Eric Robinson vanished in the high Uinta Mountains.
I remember thinking, Eric, what were you thinking, mate?
I'm Dave Cawley. Join me on my podcast, Uinta Triangle, where I travel the world to answer the question, what happened to Eric Robinson? Follow Uinta Triangle. That's UINTA Triangle on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen.
The hot weather is coming. Is your HVAC system ready for it? Let Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating make sure it is. Get to Lee'sAirPlumbingandHeating.com. Check out their $99 HVAC tune-up special. And let me tell you why Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating is the way to go. They took care of me when our heater collapsed over the winter, and Lee's set us up with a great new HVAC system that is providing comfort, value, and quality. Let Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating take care of you. License number 635355.
Skeeter here. Got a question
question. What's small and dark with white bands on its legs and bites during the day?
Mosquitoes. Hi, I'm Luz Maria Robles, but these are 2 new types of day-biting mosquitoes. They're invading our area and becoming a big problem.
And they can be dangerous.
But we're on it, so when you see them, report it at fightthebite.net. In the meantime, use insect repellent and drain stagnant water around your yard.
We're here to help with these day-biting mosquitoes.
Visit us at fightthebite.net.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
The bad news is the Athletic just had a Major League Baseball players poll, and I think they had 100 players responding, and they asked the players what team has the worst reputation. What team has the worst reputation in the majors? And the Athletics of West Sacramento, by way of Las Vegas, got the most votes.
Overwhelmingly.
Yeah. Actually, it was out of 115 respondents, 39 named the A's as a team with a negative
Who was the second worst
reputation.
Got that there? No.
Let's see. I think it might have been the White Sox.
White Sox, I think. Yeah, I think you're right about that.
How many people?
115 responded. I don't know how many they asked.
Man, that's all they can get?
Some of these questions, not everybody answers.
Yeah.
When they do these
115?
polls. Mm-hmm.
Right.
But the good news is the A's are currently they're leading the Angels. I think it's 3-0 here. Yes.
Yeah, 3-0.
Yeah. So how about that?
JP Sears throwing some heat, 9 Ks and 5 1/3.
Woo!
Okay.
Yeah.
82 total pitchers got yanked.
Mm-hmm. Who is the former Athletic that he now does a podcast? Anyway, he was talking about how tough it is for the players, the conditions for players on both teams. But he gave the tip of the cap to the A's, said ton of credit to them that they're just dealing with it and no one's complaining. He said, if I was there, I would be complaining, but and I'll get you the name. You probably know it is. Yeah. But anyway, that was nice. An acknowledgement from someone who's played at the major league level that it's not easy for the A's right now, but they're, for the most part, they're just dealing with it because what can they do about it?
Yeah, it's clearly difficult, from a player's perspective. And then it's, you're almost, you got friends around the league and everything, and you got opposing teams coming in, taking shots at your ballpark and your situation, and you can't really say anything. You're like, yeah, you're right, and so it's, I think we had on Shooty, was it last week we had Shooty on? It's and you've said this, you're really not getting the Major League Baseball experience. And one thing when that Athletic poll they talked about too was the food that the players get, the accommodations on the road, all that is subpar compared to other teams around the league.
Yeah.
From the A's?
Yeah, from the
Wow.
A's. Yes. And Jay, you've talked about this. And what's interesting, I've talked to people around the NBA as well. I didn't think there was that much difference until I started talking to people, in other organizations from around the league and everything. They say, no, this is what's like, for instance, the Miami Heat. Great organization, right? Pat Riley, Mickey Aronson. Their broadcasters don't even stay in the same team hotel.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, where they put them in a travel lodge?
No, dude, they put them in something cheaper. I tell you that.
La Quinta.
Yeah. When they came here, what was it? The Citizen or something, or some Hyatt or something? They where the team stayed in the. And so I didn't know all that stuff was going on. Like I thought everybody had chefs and food. Like that's just how the NBA rolled. But not every organization's like that.
The pitcher I was thinking of is Trevor May. Thank you. Spencer Lampkin said Dallas Braden.
man.
No, I know Dallas Braden said some things. But yeah, Trevor May used to pitch for the A's, and he does some podcasting now, and he's been very critical of the whole operation.
And rightfully so, man. It's a joke, man. It's, and I didn't read the poll thoroughly, but it's a reflection on John Fisher. He's running everything on the cheap, Like I said, the accommodations, the food that's
pull
available.
That up. Can you pull that up, Drake?
Yeah, let me
if you don't
pull
mind.
that up.
It's in the Athletic.
Yeah, you guys.
No, I'm interested to see what they're talking about when it comes to the accommodations, and we kid, but that's terrible. That's already.
It is.
You should overcompensate due to what's going on right now, and you're still doing it on the cheap. That's cold blood, man.
They asked him a number of questions. Which manager, aside from your own, would you most like to play for? Boch got the most votes.
Okay. All right. Hold on here.
Which organizations have good reputations among players, bad reputations? Dodgers with the good and the Athletics. Yeah, they got 39 votes for the bad reputation.
Yeah.
White Sox 31 and the Rockies 25.
Here you go, Jay. Which organizations have bad reputations among players? And they have some quotes from players. On the Athletics, quote, because they're cheap. Quote, they're going to be playing in Sacramento. And here's the kicker. Quote, I had a buddy who was traded to the A's as a minor leaguer. He went to Oakland and said, the way they were fed, the places they stayed were just not good. Yep.
Doesn't surprise me.
A lot of that is just players they haven't all necessarily played for the A's, but they know about the reputation.
Right.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Right.
Friends.
Yes.
It's the conversation if you play for the Blue Jays and I played for the A's and then, got traded over to the Mariners and you're having conversations, you're texting. We're living in the era of friendship when it comes to players, so no doubt about it.
Here's some of the other quotes from players on why they look down on some of the other organizations. On the Marlins, Miami has no direction. All their prospects are 17, so they're 7 years away from doing anything. On the Rockies, they're not trying to win. On the White Sox, it's just a dumpster fire through and through.
Yeah. That's terrible.
Yeah. On the Pirates give players resources, but their owner just has zero interest in winning. And on the Angels, they just don't know what they're doing top to bottom. That's what I've heard.
Because they're definitely spending money.
Yeah. But the A's got the most votes.
Yeah, the A's.
39 of the 150 or 15?
115.
115.
115. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Man, that's a high percentage.
But they're winning. They're winning 3-1. But the halo. There's a halo over every base right now.
Did you see this, Whitey, about the Marlins? Did you read further? You read the first line. Quote, I've heard specific things about them getting like Subway sandwiches on the road sometimes.
Come on.
It's little stuff like that where it's like we're in the big leagues, cheap stuff. It's $1 billion industry. Let's be a little bit better than that.
They getting a cold cut trio?
Cold cuts out there,
it's
man.
Travel ball, isn't
with flies all flying around it and everything. And
that's terrible, fellas.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. That is terrible.
And if you guys had won, everyone would get a milkshake. Right? You didn't.
These are major league ball players.
It's water for all of you.
Wow. Yeah.
One of these days, Drapes, and I know we've talked about it. When you retire, you got to write a tell-all book about some of the because people want the scintillating things.
Yeah.
They don't want the Sacramento Kings were fantastic. They fed us, great. They want the man.
Right.
The soup was cold, the bread was stale.
Yeah.
They want that.
I'll tell you this though, there is I forget which team it was, and a few teams do this, but one of the teams in the NBA, they came here to Golden One, and the chef is in the back, in the hallway, cooking meals for them.
Oh yeah,
like the chef, like they didn't order from a restaurant to come deliver and set it up. They carry their own chef. And the Kings don't do that. We cater from restaurants and things like that. Even the Celtics, when I was there, that's what we did. But the chef got the little hot plate or the Blackstone or whatever it is, and he's making grub right there after the game.
Omelet
for
station.
Guys. Yes.
Wow.
Like their own, like most teams, like I said, they entrusted to the hotel chef to do it, or the a restaurant locally to bring in food. Their chef cooks everywhere on the road.
I would think if you're paying tens of millions of dollars to athletes and you're hoping that they perform well so you'll make more money, you would want to make sure that they're properly nourished.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Drapes, you've seen it. Whitey, have you seen it? And I know what you're speaking of. There's been a few times I've been down in the tunnel on the visiting side, and they have the food outside the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
And they're cooking like on the hot burners and things like that. I don't remember the teams, Drapes. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I've seen it, a handful of times throughout the season. I'm like, man, they got their own spread.
Their own, like cook to order kind of thing,
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I've told you guys a story before, but when I was with the Mountain Lions, we were playing in Vegas towards the end of the United Football League, and players had a game that night. They had an early breakfast, and they didn't know it, but there was another breakfast coming. But players were talking about how they're not getting paid, or is everyone getting their money? And they had like fruit and cereal and yogurt. Now, they were going to have another breakfast later, but the players didn't know that. So the players are coming in and, we got a game tonight. We got to eat Cheerios. And this guy comes in with his tray, and he's kind of looking around, and a player in the room goes, "Hey, you just got Continental, B-word." Because they had their Continental breakfast. Like, yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Now, they were all worried. They thought that was it. Again,
that was
they
it.
did get a more significant, substantial meal, but
yeah.
I'll never forget that. You just got Continental.
Got Continental. That's hilarious. But those things matter to players.
Sure.
Like, those things are important, man. I've talked to players and people behind the scenes, you go to a different city or something. Oh, man, they treat their players right, or they treat them wrong. Like Dallas, the Mavericks, especially under Mark Cuban, was notoriously good for the way they treated the players.
Oh, yeah. You should talk about the chairs and the robes and things
the robes
in the locker room.
Right. And how about the family room and stuff like that? Jay, I haven't been in there. How's our family room? Have you been in there?
It's solid, yeah.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's not over the top, not glamorous. There aren't waterfalls falling off the wall or anything. But yeah, but I mean, just like everything else throughout the arena, spot on. You walk through, at a high caliber. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I've taken a look. I feel like I've kind of jumped on a few finger foods, but not so much as actually whipped out the plate and went down the line and, checked out the food.
Okay.
Pretty much, and you guys know this, Drake's definitely, you move and groove throughout the Golden One. A lot of what is in, not so much the media, but in certain instances throughout the arena, they're also serving for the family as well. Like, the menu is pretty close to being the menu throughout the whole arena for the most part. Now, there are some, you go in here, you might get a little oyster or some shrimp over this way. You go to this lounge, you might get some chicken strips. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the menu is pretty close to the same throughout the different lounges.
Now, how vitally important is it for the Kings to get something done this offseason just to satisfy fans? Drapes answers that when we come back to Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy, and oh my goodness, I'm born and raised here. I know it gets hot, but my goodness, we're already seeing 100-degree days. Listen to me. You do not want your system to conk out in the middle of June or July or August with one of those big 100-degree stretches. You want to make sure you're good all summer long. And my friends at American Energy Heating and Air can do that with a $24.50 tune-up right now. That's half price. And if you need a new system, $3,500 off, up to $3,500 off in rebates for qualified systems. They've been around since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call them right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra. Tickets are available now at CITPFest.com.
Get a great deal on your new Silverado at the Maida Chevy Silverado Superstore. Great selection, great factory financing and incentive, and great Maida Chevy savings on every new Silverado in stock. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
KHD, KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Always every night and day. God don't step an hour later until it hurts.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
All right, a few moments ago, we were talking about the Athletics, and I was saying, hey, the good news is they're up 3-0. That is not currently the case. Was that Joe Adele that hit that home run? I don't know if that's come down yet.
Yeah, I wasn't paying.
That was well struck. So the A's had a 3-0 lead. They're currently trailing the Angels 6-3. And Jay, I don't know if you saw it. I know you're doing a million things. They just after they lost the lead, after the A's lost the lead, there was a shot of Mark Kotsay in the dugout, and he just had that look, like just trying to endure it, just kind of seething, and I think, why do we have to go through this? What is wrong? You know how it is. It's just I felt for him, just trying to be stoic, and you can just see the pain inside. Frustrating.
Just don't leave that fastball up and in like that.
Yeah.
Belt high. It wasn't even belt high. It was thigh high.
Yeah.
I'm actually watching your boys play the Dodgers, the hated Dodgers. And so I'm not watching the A's right now.
Yeah. We got them both on in here.
Yeah,
but,
you're lucky.
Yeah. The Giants last night taking advantage of whoever wins. You've got San Diego and the Dodgers playing, as I mentioned a couple days ago. Somebody's going to lose. So last night the Padres evened that series, but the Giants were down. Jay, they were down 5-2 in the ninth. They won that game 6-5.
I know,
those pesky Giants.
What are we doing here?
They don't lose 6 in a row.
What are we doing? Playing these weak teams. They have the Dodgers this upcoming weekend, so we'll see how that plays out.
Mm-hmm. They've got a winning streak. The Giants have that winning streak, and they scored the winning run last night on a Wilmer Flores ground ball that went about 14 feet.
You know how it goes, Whitey, and this is the typical Giants pattern of the season.
Mm-hmm.
They start off well. Pretty good, nice and hot. About time July rolls around, fireworks aren't shooting anymore.
These are the new Giants. These are the new Giants. Buster, new sheriff in town.
You believe in that thing.
Buster's got these guys.
By the time August rolls around,
they're not buying in, huh?
They'll be out.
Not buying in, right?
Never buying in.
I'm out on that, Drapes.
Right.
They could be up
you should be
7
too.
runs in the 9th inning of the World Series, and Jay'd be like,
right.
Nah.
Dude, they like the Indiana Pacers of MLB. They finding ways to win.
They did last
night.
Against who?
You play who's on the schedule, Jay. You play who's on the schedule. Come on.
They got the Dodgers this weekend. Let's talk about that come Monday.
Okay.
Remember when the A's were winning, Drapes?
What was it? 3-0 like 10 minutes ago, right?
3-0. Yeah.
What's the score now, way?
It's 6-3 Halos, and they're still batting.
So JP got yanked 82 pitchers, and I know he had 2 guys on. But the bullpen once again.
Yes.
That's pretty bad.
Right.
That's pretty bad.
Now, getting back to the Kings, a name that's coming up a lot. I know you see it. We talk a lot about the Magic and the Kings looking at point guards. I think one guy that the Kings fans are fascinated with right now, Anthony Black.
Yeah, I'm looking at him right now.
Yeah? You're fascinated with him too?
I am. See, I hate to be involved in these conversations because I'm always the Debbie Downer. I like to call myself the realist.
Mm-hmm. 6'7" point guard.
How old is Anthony Black?
Anthony Black is 21 years, 142 days.
Okay.
If my math is right.
what position was he drafted? Which draft and overall number?
Let me see if I can remember here. I think he was a 6th pick overall in the 2023 draft.
So you telling me the Orlando Magic are already willing to move off the 6th overall pick from a draft not even 2 years ago?
That's a good point, Drapes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know how we are as fans. We're looking for that undervalued asset.
There's only one team I know that would do such a move, Whitey.
Yeah?
The Sacramento Kings. Like, teams don't do that unless it's for a star.
Right.
Giannis, KD.
I saw somebody today on X, and again, fans are going to fan, and somebody again was going through, hey, you got to get these players before their teams realize how good they are. Somebody mentioned Nembhard again. It's like, that ship has sailed.
That ship has sailed. Yeah, Nembhard that's their guy, man. Tyrese and Nembhard in the backcourt, they're not breaking that up.
Right. Right.
And the thing I thought Nembhard really regained his swagger defensively in that game against Jalen Brunson, game 6, I think it was, what he was able to do and lock him up. And then game 1, late in the game, 4th quarter, the ball was in his hands. I think like the Pacers value what he brings, and there's nobody on our team that could help them the way he's helping them.
To your point, if you're trying to find an undervalued player, like a hidden gem, it's not going to be a player that they just drafted with the 6th pick in 2023. Because they're not going to be surprised if that guy's any good.
Let me ask you this, though, because then conversely, listeners will say, well, Drapes, you talked about Benedict Mathurin. There's a difference there. The Pacers have several guys, young players, ahead of Benedict Mathurin. I don't think the Magic have several young players ahead of Anthony Black. KCP has not panned out. They're looking to move off of him. Ain't going to find any takers. I look at Suggs, Black. That's why I think Cole Anthony is the guy that they would move off of.
Yes.
Been around a little longer,
Right.
He's
the one getting squeezed out.
Yeah. I feel like he's the one getting squeezed out. And then they can run Anthony Black as their backup point guard to Suggs, or you could play him at the 2 as well. So I'll say this. I would love to have him. He fits the criteria that we've been talking about. Young player, that you can start building around. 21, exactly. So from a player's perspective, I like him. Doesn't shoot the 3 that well, though. Whitey, how you feeling about that?
He did as a rookie. Last year struggled.
Yeah, this last year increased his volume, but 31.8. I feel like this past year, though, was a weird year for 3-point shooting. So maybe to your point, maybe he can go back to his rookie mark when he shot 39.4.
Orlando was bad, except when they play the Kings. But they're a bad 3-point shooting team. Then they come here, boom, eyes closed.
Exactly. No, I do think there's something there with Orlando, though.
I do too.
Whether it's Isaac, Cohen. You out on Jonathan Isaac, though, right?
No,
you're in on him? Okay.
I mean, he's hurt a lot.
Right.
Yeah. Length. They got a lot of things that help you, and you actually have some things that could help them. And that's the trickiest part of this.
Right.
Is finding things that Kings have that can actually help teams that they might be talking to.
Ooh, did you know Jonathan Isaac is going to turn 28 in October? Not that that's long in the tooth, but he's a little older than I thought.
He's been around a while.
Yeah, he's been around a while. Missed 2 seasons because of injury.
So he's really only 26.
Right.
Yeah. Now, it finally happened. It was inevitable, and it finally happened.
What you got?
On X, there's a post from somebody, and I'm paraphrasing. It was, if this guy's available, I could roll the dice on him. It was Ben Simmons, and guess who posted it? Carmichael Dave. Finally get back on.
He's back on the Ben Simmons thing?
And he's trying to make it look like he's just kind of like, I don't know, maybe. I guess.
I don't know if I follow him or not. Did he really say that?
Yeah, I'll find it.
Oh,
I'm giving him a hard time. But, he does have a reputation for being a big Ben Simmons guy.
Okay. I mean, Ben Simmons to me is probably an 11th man right now.
Yeah.
Like,
see, I think Dave said, want to be fair here. I think he said something like him as a point guard. I don't even know if he's a point guard anymore.
yeah. I don't think he's a point guard anymore. It's I'm looking at some of Dave's. I don't see the Ben Simmons one, but yeah, how is this guy still in the league right now?
Mm-hmm.
Like to me, Ben Simmons, he's outlived his usefulness as a player on a contending team. He's an 11th or 12th man, break in case of emergency. When all else fails, let's give Ben Simmons some minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And how about this? If he was so good, why wouldn't the Clippers just want to keep him? Re-sign him.
Carmichael Dave, 20 hours ago. I know we aren't a contending team, but if it's cheap, I can think of worse flyers to take at point guard. That's in response to an Evan Siddery post on Ben Simmons. He'll be a free agent target for contending teams on the veterans minimum. So Carmichael Dave's going to Carmichael Dave.
Yeah, exactly. He's sitting there, in his underoos like, you know what? Let me tweet about Ben Simmons, get people talking.
I'm partly open to Ben Simmons, but again, as far as like a point guard, I don't even think he's a point guard.
No, he's not. He's not. And I thought we were looking for somebody that can actually shoot also.
Oh, yeah, he can't.
Yeah, he can't do that. So
what has he made? How many threes in his career? He's made something like
3, 4, something like that.
I don't, honestly, it might not be 10.
Really?
For his career.
I got you. I got the stat right here. Ben Simmons, career 3-pointers. Jay, any guesses?
I'm going to go 7.
Career 3-pointers for Ben Simmons. Whitey?
9.
5 for 36.
5. So he hasn't made one in like 3 years.
The last time Ben Simmons
2022.
2020-2021 season.
Yeah.
He made 3 that year. And then made 2 the previous year.
Oh, he was on fire, baby.
Yeah.
See, I remember seeing that like 3 years ago, and I assumed that, he's probably made a couple since then.
No.
5 in his career.
Over the last, how many games? 42 and 57, 108 plus 51. So you're talking over the last 160 games, he has not made a 3. So 2 seasons worth of actual games. But dude, he's 5 of 36 for his career. And here's the thing about it, fellas.
Maybe you should shoot with the other hand or something.
Kevin O'Connor used to always say that. But here's the thing about those numbers. A couple of those are probably half-court heaves or into shot, into the clock buzzers before the half. So he probably only took 28 real ones.
Yeah. Yeah. And what'd you say? He shot 34? Did we say 5 for 34?
36. 5 for 36.
At least 32 of those he did not want to shoot.
Right?
Like, I do not want to do this.
That's terrible. That's pretty bad, man. What happened to that guy?
Drapes will address the question. How important is it for the Kings to do something something big this offseason? We'll find out next. Drive, guys. Don't go away.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products in next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411th North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton and Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Couple questions here on the text line. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. From the 209, is Markelle Fultz still signed? He's not.
No, he's not. No. Markelle Fultz, free agent. Even though I thought they signed him to a 2-year deal with a team option for the second, but it's not showing up like that on the payroll.
Brent Rooker just hit his second home run of the game.
Okay.
6'5" Halos.
Saying there's a chance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Markelle Fultz, not signed. The Kings do not have more than, 8 guys under contract right now?
Got him right here for the upcoming season. Zach LaVine, $47.499 million. Domantas Sabonis, $43.636. DeMar, $24.574. Malik, $18.797. Valanciunas, $10.395. Keegan, $11.144. Devin Carter, $4.9. LaRavia, we know about him. Keon Ellis is a team option. Know about that. And that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Isaac Jones team option on this contract, and Terrence Davis team option also.
Mm-hmm. From the 209, here you go. Here's the answer on how would the Kings get Anthony Black. The Magic might move off Black if they get desperate.
Ooh.
They have a lot of guards. Maybe they get panicky, Like, what do we do? I'm not sure how desperation would lead them to get rid of Anthony Black. It'd be great if it did, but I'm not seeing it.
And if I'm Orlando, if I'm moving off Anthony Black, it's either A, for a star, we talked about that, or B, you might have to attach draft capital back too.
Right.
Like, I'm not just giving away the number 6 overall pick 2 years ago for somebody.
And then you're really at cross purposes if you're trying to build something for the future and then you're giving away future picks to
for
secure
an
your
aging,
future.
Yeah,
it's like,
what are we doing? Yeah, you already got the number 6 pick.
916 says Ben Simmons has a permanent case of the yips. That's pretty accurate, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And, I said it before, man. I just don't get how this guy is still in the league at this point. Like, I got to look up some of his numbers. Got him right here. Like, what value? This last season, he averaged 5 points, 4.7 rebounds, 5.6 assists.
Well, if you don't have to pay him a ton, I mean, he does do a lot of nice things for you. Or a few. He does a number of things for you. Not a lot of them, but he does a little bit of everything is what I'm trying to say, except shoot.
Yeah. I'm looking at the numbers here. He averaged 6.2 points, close to 7 rebounds or 7 assists and 5.2 rebounds with Brooklyn in 33 games. With the Clippers, kind of a contending team, playoff caliber.
I thought maybe that was his per 36.
Right, I know. But in 18 games with the Clippers, Whitey, 2.9 points, 3.1 rebounds, 3.1 assists, 3.8 rebounds. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just don't make sense.
Oh, you do know. We all know.
I know we do.
We all know.
Everybody except Carmichael Dave knows. How about this stat? This is the craziest stat of them all when it comes to Benjamin Simmons. Career earnings. According to this, $163 million. Think about that, Whitey.
What is that per 3-point shot he's making?
Right. Last season, not this last season, season before, he made $37.8 million. For a guy that played, when you look at Benson, he made $37.8 million. Not this last season, season before last.
Mm-hmm.
And he played 15 games. Damn. Only in America.
Good work if you can get it.
Yeah.
Now, Drapes, time to answer the question.
Oh, yeah.
And I haven't pressed you on it. How important is it for the Kings to do something, for Scott Perry to do something of some significance this offseason, just to give fans something to get excited about, something to energize the fan base?
How important is it to?
I think I'll give my answer. I think it would be nice, but nothing can come before making moves that improve the team.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to do something. No, you just don't.
No, you don't. You ain't got to win the offseason or win the headlines or anything like that.
You got to do something
last year.
Yeah, you got to do something. It's got to be bold.
Nah.
No, it really doesn't. That would be stupid.
Whitey, we saw that last year with the signing of DeMar. It's the vibes were up and it didn't equate to winning. And so, somebody said in the YouTube chat, I believe it was Jared Williams, what energizes the fan base? Winning.
Well said.
He said. And that's where I think we are right now. I don't want I don't want Scott Perry to be a used car salesman and carnival barker or anything. Oh, look what we got right here. We got this shiny object.
Yeah.
No, I think fans are at a point now where they need to see it on the court. Like, unless you get Giannis or somebody like that, like, we need to see wins on the court.
Mm-hmm.
Like, winning the offseason and the press clippings, I think we're past that right now.
And that takes discipline. Mm-hmm. That means the rest of this offseason, you might have to endure the slings and arrows from fans like, oh, they don't know what they're doing. Just wait. Just be patient.
Right.
It's better to wait through that and end up in a good place than it is to give people, that short-term fix. Like, yo, man, that's great. They went and they traded for Trae Young.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to win 50 games and then end up in the same spot.
Exactly. It's, and, one of the things that Scott Perry keeps talking about, and, when I talked to him yesterday and obviously during this press conference, he wants, what did he say? Sustained stability or something like competitiveness or something like that. And so there's no rush to make just a move, just to be making a move. Like, you can't, what they say, Rome wasn't built in a day, Whitey.
Wasn't? Okay.
No, it was not. Darn it. But so if you're Scott Perry, you got to be patient with this and see your vision through. See, you can't, fast track this one with your Sacramento.
It's probably at a point where he's not even sure what the vision is. And I don't mean anything disparaging about him, but again, we don't know what is available to us.
Yeah. How about this? AA run.
Yeah.
No big swings, just singles, doubles, and an occasional bunt.
Keep the line moving.
You cool with that, Whitey? You good with that?
It's better than making a big swing just for making a big swing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
AA run.
No shortcuts.
Right. No shortcuts. And here's the thing. If you're Sacramento, we've seen it in the past. That's gotten us in trouble. Going for the big names, going for the flashy signing, unless it's a guy set to enter his prime or, just starting this prime. Like, we had the KD discussion. If we got KD, that doesn't make us a championship contender.
No.
So it doesn't make sense. And fans may get excited. Oh, we got Kevin Durant. That's the old way of thinking for Sacramento. Aging stars.
An old saying. It's like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic.
Right,
there's some love for Markelle Fultz here in the chat.
Yeah, how about that?
Spencer Lampkins might as well keep Fultz then. Bruno. Yeah, Fultz is a good ball handler and can get to the rim. That's all in caps.
Now, that's the question we need to be asking. If Markelle Fultz is the big re-up at point guard, how are we feeling?
Not good. I didn't think he played very well last year. He started when he got here, played reasonably well, showed some promise, and then he just didn't play well for a stretch.
But what if it's just a bridge? What if it's just, kicking the tires, just get through the season, recalibrate?
Bridge doesn't do me any good if it falls apart when I'm trying to cross it, right?
We disagree on Markelle Fultz. We've had this discussion.
I think Jay is with you, and I don't want to put words in Jay's mouth, but I think Jay is pretty pro Fultz as well. Right, Jay?
Yeah, give him a shot.
Give him a shot.
I'd like to see this a second year coming off the injury.
Right.
They always say you're better in your second year. Of course, full second year. So I'm interested. I think he's a distressed asset. I think he's somebody that has a higher grade than what we've seen last year.
I'm with you on that, Jay. And I'm not saying he's the answer or anything like that, but I'm not basing my opinion on Markelle Fultz based on last season. It was a dumpster fire. First of all, he didn't get, extended minutes at any point. And I agree, Whitey. Sometimes he didn't look good out there. But just coming off, new system, new coach, like even established veterans at times didn't look good in our system. And so I'm willing to give him another shot. Now, is he the only answer for us? No. If you can get somebody better, go for it. But I'd like to see him a little more.
When Scott Perry met with the media and he said, we don't have a point guard, doesn't that tell you what he thinks of Markelle Fultz, that he just doesn't see him as an option?
He's a free agent, though, right? He's not under contract. We just said that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's clear we don't have one, right? Even on the roster right now. And so maybe that's what he was talking about. What you got?
Bruno says, my keyboard is locked on caps. Sorry. Oh, good.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah. I thought, man, he really likes Fultz.
Yeah, he's like, Fultz is a good one. That's true. Thanks for telling us, Bruno. We got to get you a new laptop, big fella. We got to get you a new.
I think if Fultz is any part of the answer, I think the Kings are in big trouble.
Not even coming off the bench?
Coming off the bench, I can see that. But I mean, if he's part of the solution, like, point guard, it's Markelle Fultz. You're right. Coming off the bench, maybe. But if he's like, this is what we're doing at point guard, I think they're in trouble. I don't think they'll do that. We'll see.
Yeah, I think you're looking for a starter, Markelle Fultz, some form of Malik Monk, Keon Ellis, Zach LaVine. They're all kind of your point guard. I think if he's in a rotation of playing, I'm pretty good with that until he shows me otherwise.
Yeah.
Now I will say this, fellas. I think I would have a quick hook with him, though. I would like to see some things straight out the gate, like right from the beginning of the season, and show and prove to me that I made the right choice. But if it's not there, I'd probably be looking to, I want to say get rid of him because that's not the proper word. I guess it is. Yeah, like I'd probably cut him.
Speaking of seeing things, best thing you've ever seen, most underrated sport to watch. It's our question of the day. And it comes up next with the Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports. Don't go away.
Louis C.K. in an all-new show, Ridiculous 2025 Tour.
When I was younger, you had to go in the bank. Remember that? You had to go inside the bank. Now you look in the bank, you're like, what are those people doing in there? Are they cleaning? The money's out here.
Friday and Saturday, June 13th and 14th, 8 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit thundervalleyresort.com. Louis C.K. live on stage.
This is Secret Clinical dominating extra stinky stress sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. Oh, what a beautiful day. This is regular deodorant. Ugh, I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. Let's run another marathon. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT because nothing fights sweat better. Stay fresher under pressure.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the lake or clean out your closet?
RV wins!
Putting the dishes away or taking the RV camping?
RV wins!
Cleaning the fridge or taking a trip to the beach?
RV wins!
You might want to clean the fridge real quick because, mold.
We clean out the fridge, then take the RV out.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Whitey here for Napoleon Grills, reminding you that when buying a new grill, every detail matters. While supplies last, you'll receive a $149 gift with purchase on every new Napoleon Prestige stainless steel grill. The kit even includes a pizza lover starter kit and much more. And now up to $79 off Napoleon Rogue models. Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last, with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts amazing quality. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Giant Summer Sale and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy, and oh my goodness,
I'm born and raised here. I know it gets hot, but my goodness, we're already seeing 100-degree days. Listen to me. You do not want your system to conk out in the middle of June or July or August with one of those big 100-degree stretches. You want to make sure you're good all summer long. And my friends at American Energy Heating and Air can do that with a $24.50 tune-up right now. That's half price. And if you need a new system, $3,500 off, up to $3,500 off in rebates for qualified systems. They've been around since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call them right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Skeeter here. Got a question. What's small and dark with white bands on its legs and bites during the day?
Mosquitoes. Hi, I'm Luz Maria Robles, but these are two new types of day-biting mosquitoes. They're invading our area and becoming a big problem.
And they can be dangerous.
But we're on it, so when you see them, report it at fightthebite.net. In the meantime, use insect repellent and drain stagnant water around your yard.
We're here to help with these day-biting mosquitoes.
Visit us at fightthebite.net.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
From Spencer Lampkins in the Chateaus, we continue to talk about the Kings' path forward. He says if Perry communicates with the fans any kind of plans he has, I think it will at least keep fans involved for the time being. I think he will do that. It just depends on when something gets done, and I don't think he's in any position to do that yet because I don't think he can know what they want to do or what they're going to do.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think, he's taking inventory, if you will, right now. And, it'll be interesting to see, if it's something this off season, is it trade deadline? Does he need to see 25 games, 30 games or whatever before making up his mind? It doesn't seem like, and I know it's real early, it doesn't seem like he's in a rush to blow it up or sell off pieces or anything like that. We really haven't heard that, even there's been a lot of fake stuff out there, but I really think about it like this, Whitey. We hearing the Orlando Magic reports. We're hearing the Boston Celtics reports, Phoenix, all these teams. Honestly, I don't feel like we've heard anything from Sacramento's camp side of things. Like Sacramento's looking to move off DeMar or Zach or trade Sabonis. Everything is coming from other teams.
Yes, I think that's a great point because we touched on this yesterday. There are some fans around here that say, ooh, the Kings have leaks. I don't think they do.
Right. I don't think
it's coming from the call's not coming from inside the building.
Right. That's, everything, even this, Grant Afseth story yesterday. There's nothing to that. There was no teeth to that. I don't understand where he got that from. But it's there's no Kings, about our current players. We're not offering. I haven't heard a Kings package from us. DeMar and 2 firsts for Giannis, or we haven't heard anything from the Kings side of things.
But I think Spencer. I think when it comes to that, I think Scott Perry is uniquely qualified to. It's not going to be easy, but I think he's got the skills where he might be able to pull that off. Explain to the fans, this is what we're doing. This is why we did it in a kind of a smiley, wink, good-natured way. We'll see. Won't be easy, but if anybody can do it, I think he can. Depending on what it is, of course.
Exactly. Depending on what it is.
Yeah. Now, I want to ask you guys about this because, you got the U.S. Open teeing off tomorrow.
Have
you ever been to a U.S. Open?
Yeah. I was at L.A. Country Club a couple years ago.
I wanted to see what you guys thought about the best sports to watch in person.
Okay.
Because as I was thinking about the U.S. Open and I covered a couple of them and looking back on it, golf's pretty cool to watch in person. It's a whole different thing than TV, and you got to decide if you're going to follow one group or if you're going to sit at one green or one tee, wherever, and watch them come through. But I think golf as a spectator sport is underrated. I think it's good. You don't think so? You're not with me?
No, I disagree 1,000%.
Because to me, you don't get the sense of where the ball really goes until you're there and you actually see it. But it doesn't do it for you.
No, I see what you mean, but you don't get to see what's going on around the course. It's too big. Like you don't get to see.
Yeah, that's true.
Like it's hard to keep track of.
They have the scoreboards with the numbers and you're watching, but yeah, you can't see it all. So you do have to make a decision. Like, what am I going to do? Follow a group, stay at one spot. Yeah. You're not going to see everything.
Right. You're not going to see. And it's tough, man.
Because if you try it at a big tournament, the crowds are so big, you won't see
the crowds are so big. Yeah. The best course to do, best path to take with that is stay at one spot.
Yeah.
You get a good spot and stay there.
Stay at 18 is what you do.
Because if you're chasing and everything like that, you're going to get boxed out. You're going to get bad spots. When we went to LACC, U.S. Open a couple of years ago, we were fortunate. We sat in these stands, but you could see the approach shot, the putt on the green of one and the tee box of the other.
Right.
So you got two courses where two holes that you could actually see.
That's your move.
Yeah, exactly. But it took us a while to figure that out, and so from that vantage aspect, golf is tough, man. I like it better on TV, to be honest with you.
What's the sport you like to watch in person the most?
Oh, basketball and hockey. Yeah, basketball and hockey, 100%. When it comes to basketball, TV doesn't do justice, especially if you are fortunate enough to be kind of closer to the court. TV doesn't do it justice how big, strong, fast, how physical the game really is, and how competitive it is as well. You get to see the guys, the sweat, the facial expressions. You get to hear them a little bit and everything like that. And then when it comes to hockey, man, I think the crowd, the banging on the glass and everything like that, the speed at which they
It's
play.
not a sport that translates especially well to TV.
Unless it's playoff, right? Unless it's, it's, and I've said this before, and hockey play-by-play is probably the hardest thing to do. How do you follow that puck? And how do you can't see the jerseys that well. Guys are flying
Nobody
around.
can see anything. You can say whatever you want. What are they? They're not going to know.
Yeah, right. I hear you on that. What's the worst one, though? Football, huh?
Might be.
Yes.
But I still think baseball's the best in person, Jay. What do you think?
In person?
Yeah.
Two that pop in my mind is hockey.
Yep.
For me, I wouldn't sit down and watch hockey on television to save my life. But in person, it is super quick, super fast. And as Drake said, if you have I've only been to a handful of hockey games and they've been up close. And so, you just hear the ice, the crashing of the boards. It's a good atmosphere. The other thing for me is boxing. I think
boxing
when you're watching a boxing fight up close and personal, oh man, you're living and dying. Worst on television, football, and I'd say horse racing. Excuse me. In person, worst in person would be horse racing.
Really?
Yeah, because it's too hard to keep up. Like, and maybe my vision is just bad, but like when they get on the other side of the track, it's just
you ain't looking at the big board in the infield.
But that's not what I'm there for. I'm there to watch the horses.
Okay.
Compared to looking at the big board.
One of the things you don't get on TV as much with any sport, and horse racing comes to mind, the sounds depending on where you are.
Oh, yeah,
like basketball.
Sure. Yeah.
And again, obviously, if you're upstairs, as I've been many times, it's harder to hear. But the ball on the court, the ball coming through the rim. I remember one time, one of the first games I went to where I was sitting fairly close, and Jamal Wilkes was apologizing to Tommy Nunez about a call. And he's like, "My bad, Tommy, my bad." And I was like, oh my goodness.
Right. You hear that dialogue. Yeah.
And horse racing, I'm thinking more like Jay of the Solano County Fair. Never been to the Derby like Drapes. But, being on the rail and just hearing the hooves.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And the roar of the crowd as they turn for home and everything. Ooh, I get goosebumps thinking about that one, boys. I do.
The other one for me, the worst to watch on television is golf. It's terrible.
No, you ain't watching it in person on TV on your tablet. You ain't watching golf no matter what, Jay. Come on,
Very true, but I'll give you the reason. First of all, they cut to as you guys are talking about, they cut to so many different holes and so many different players. If you are a novice, if you're just, let's just say we take our significant other. My significant other could really care less about sports. Watching golf for her would be confusing.
Now to 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like there's nothing to it. And then the other part of it, why in the hell we got to be so quiet? Why do you have to be whisper everywhere when it comes to golf? Yeah. And so even on television, they're whispering. Like, just talk.
One time, Jay, this is a true story. One time I had golf on TV and my wife was listening to an easy listening station.
Right.
And the combination watching golf with that music on, I was in a coma for 3 days.
I bet.
Yeah.
That's terrible. You guys are terrible.
Glad you've come.
That's terrible. Nah, man. I disagree 1,000%. Jay.
Well, watching it?
Yeah. I love watching golf because most of the time they're only showing you great shots or flubs. It's no, and they show you the leaders. So you're very much aware of, who's winning.
Yeah.
I tried to watch Live Golf. Have you tried to watch Live Golf?
No.
CJ might like that. They got music playing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's atmosphere.
It's awful. It's terrible. I can't stand it. Like the graphics are all like, they got, bright colored graphics and everything. The screen's all busy. Golf is a simple sport.
Is it?
In terms of
very formal,
very formal. Exactly. And there's
is formal simple?
Yeah, and I'm talking in terms of production wise. Like you don't need I get upset sometimes they be doing the top tracer technology a little too much because they don't even be 100% accurate at everything. Like just dumb it down a little bit. Whereas Live, I feel like it's trying to do too much. It's like golf on steroids almost.
One thing I've learned, you watch golf on TV and like you said, you see the leaders. And sometimes I go, let's go to 14. And here's Joe Schmo. It's like, why are they showing Joe Schmo? He's
we know why.
And if he's putting, Jay, it's going
good,
in.
Right.
It's like there's a reason why or he's chipping. Here's Barney Bledsoe.
Right. 20 back, but somehow
it's a hole in one.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll give you the ultimate. I saved this because this is my number one. I talk about golf and all. This is the worst sport to watch on television. I had to do it for a little bit when I was working at a national network. NASCAR.
I knew you was going to say that.
Worst sport to ever watch. Dude, you're banking left the whole time.
I wonder what it's like to be there. Sears Point.
It's spectacular. It's spectacular.
People just stay there for days.
Yeah.
It's a party, no doubt about it. But watching it on TV,
it's kind of brutal. Let me just see the last couple of
minutes. Come on.
Yeah.
From the green to the checker, good luck. No, I'm with you. Give me the last 3 to 5.
Yeah, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. What's the most underrated sport to watch? I can't believe Drapes is not a watch golf in person guy. I get it.
No, I like going, but it's not very good to watch. Like, if you want to follow one guy, maybe or something, but you miss out on so much, I feel like.
Yeah. Give us a call. Also, the Knicks coaching search hits another road block, a number of road blocks. It's almost as if they don't know what they're doing. And more coming up with the drive, guys. Don't go away.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
For a lot of us, saving up a down payment can be the biggest barrier to buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with One Plus. Because everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places that I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
We get it. Tariffs are tough. Power tools are getting expensive. But at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, we're solving that problem for 2 short days on June 20th and June 21st. We're putting all Milwaukee power tools on massive discounts. Tons of Milwaukee batteries and bare tools for less than $100. 25% off all regular price Milwaukee pack-out boxes and much, much more. So stop by Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet in Sacramento on June 20th and 21st for some of the lowest prices on tools you'll ever see this year. To see all of what's on sale, visit FastenersInc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
If there's one thing we know about dads, it's that they're not easy to shop for. Enter Kohl's. They've got everything from Nike golf gear to his favorite Levi's jeans. And you can save 20% on other finds like Flex Athleisure and Izod workwear. So if you're not sure what to get dad for Father's Day, you know where to go. Shop Kohl's now. Select styles. Offer ends June 15th. Some exclusions apply. Coupons do not apply to Nike and Levi's. See store at Kohl's.com for details. This is Secret Clinical dominating extra stinky stress sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave.
Oh, what a beautiful day.
This is regular deodorant.
Ugh, I can't.
Secret Clinical with workout sweat.
Let's run another marathon.
And regular deodorant.
How much more?
Secret is the GOAT because nothing fights sweat better.
Stay fresher under pressure.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Averyana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra. Tickets are available now at CITPFest.com.
Live and local 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Yeah, the Knicks running into a few roadblocks when it comes to hiring their next coach. We'll get to that in just a moment. Before we do, Jay, you're not with me on baseball, the best sport to watch in person?
No.
No? No. Well, you probably look at the game differently than most of us. I think being at the game it's just fun. Great atmosphere.
Oh, it's a great atmosphere, but it's not the best one to watch, no. Too much downtime, too long. Like, yeah.
Not anymore.
Well, I can see how fans are saying. For me and you, we're baseball guys. But if I'm just looking at it as I'm looking at the other sports as just a fan, then I can see baseball's not the best one to watch in person.
Baseball does not do a good job, in my opinion, of showing people what's actually going on. I remember years ago taking my daughter to a game, and I may have shared this story with you before, and I showed her, the man on first. Watch the shortstop. He's going to show the second baseman right before the pitch. He's going to cover his mouth, and the mouth open or close. He's going to tell him who's covering the bag. And she's like, that's the coolest thing ever. I'd have never known they were doing that. Stuff like that going on.
The intricacies of the game.
Yes.
They definitely don't do a good job. Hence, I think that's part of the miking up the players.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Horse racing, golf. I guess hockey, baseball, the best ones.
In person?
Tennis is good in person too. Yes. No. Tennis, unless you're sitting.
Basketball not on that?
Basketball's really good.
Basketball's good.
So wait, give me the 4. You said horse racing, baseball.
I'm taking horse racing off. Golf is on my
in
list.
person.
Yes.
Is one of the best to watch?
Golf, yes.
What have you watched? What tournaments have you watched in golf that pique your interest right now? Like, I was at Pebble.
Couple U.S. Opens,
Okay.
and I was at Pebble, and I remember seeing Tiger. You know, you see Tiger on TV all the time, but I remember seeing Tiger in person, and when he hit the ball, it's like I've never heard a sound like that. So it was just different.
But was it watching Tiger or was it watching like?
It was watching Tiger, and
Okay.
literally hearing him hit the ball and just seeing the shot making, and you get a different perspective when you're there and you see the whole course rather than, on TV.
Remove Tiger from it then. How about that? And I know that's tough to do, but remove Tiger.
He wasn't when I was first going to U.S. Opens. He was
the
man
man
in them.
Oh, he was not. Okay.
So there's just, the golf is. We got a major coming up tomorrow. It's life-changing stuff for the people that win. You win a major, and being there was. I don't know. It's pretty cool. I know what Drapes is saying. You got to have a strategy, or you get lost. I can't see anything. I'm in this big crowd and I don't see anything. But I think it's a great spectator sport. And I think tennis is underrated too.
Never been to a tennis match.
No, tennis is good. Tennis is really good. Actually.
Have you been to a major? I
haven't been to a major though.
Okay.
You been to any majors at all? U.S. Open,
I was
New York?
at the U.S. Open once, but I was there for the team tennis, the Capitals.
Right.
So I didn't actually see the U.S. Open.
Calling the game? Calling the match rather?
No.
Okay.
I called them at Sunrise Mall.
Yeah.
In the parking lot.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But there they had their own. The league had their own.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. That's a good sport. But baseball to me, there's something about.
I can't say. I know I'm a hater of golf, but I just can't see it. Like I've been to multiple golf tournaments, not a major. Just not a fan.
Well, you don't play either, so you just don't care.
I'm not a fan, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's boring.
Mm-hmm. It is if you don't. That's why people say baseball's boring. What about soccer? Soccer to me is so much better in person than on TV.
Agreed.
Yeah.
The atmosphere makes a soccer match for me.
Right.
It depends on the atmosphere. No doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like soccer in person versus TV. TV, you don't get the vibe unless it's like a World Cup or something like that. The energy of the crowd doesn't come across. Really.
Yeah. You have to be able to see everything, and on TV, you can only see. That's why football's so good for TV. Everything, for the most part, happens in that limited area. But on baseball, for example, you got a man on base, somebody hits a ball into the corner. You got to see the runners. You got to see, where the ball goes, where the fielders are going. TV can't show you all that. It's impossible.
I guess, but I think it's because you're a baseball guy. I don't know if the average fan is checking for that.
But you literally have so many things to watch at once. Where's the lead runner?
Most of the time, people ain't even paying attention.
That's true. That's
they
what
talking to their friends. They're at the concession stand. They taking selfies. Ain't nobody living and dying on every pitch and see. And half the time, a hit happens and you hear the crowd, and then you look up like, what happened? I missed it. I don't know.
Look up straight for the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is why they need the nets now.
Right.
People are on their phones all the time.
Yeah.
No, it's baseball is one of those things where it is a destination, if that makes sense. Like you go to a baseball game, a ball game, like, okay, it's an event, so to say, compared to, if you go into boxing or which is an event, but I think there's a little more action to it where baseball, it's subtle. It's a subtle game.
How about this one with baseball? And this is just a take here, my take. Baseball, the longer it goes, the more people want to leave. I'm talking about in person.
Depends on the game.
Yeah. If you're talking like Game 7 of the World Series.
That's different.
Well.
But a double overtime basketball game, people ain't leaving.
Oh,
14. They've left.
People leave.
I don't know. Now maybe not. At least
folks
I'm
walked
not.
out in the finals game and
that's in Miami. No, because they thought it was done. But baseball is 10:30. I got to get the kids up tomorrow. I don't know, man.
I remember being at a Kings game at Arco in the Weber heyday, and the Kings it was a Sunday on NBC. And the Kings were down 4 with like 24 seconds left. You have a 3-point shot, and people just took off. And it's not a Sacramento thing. It's just fans.
Beat that parking.
Yes.
That's what people are trying to get out there.
But that's every sport, though. That's every sport.
That's true.
Every sport,
Sunday,
people try to beat parking. Every sport, people trying to beat the parking. I'm saying with baseball, like, I don't feel like with baseball, people care about the outcome as much.
They don't have as many fans as they
Right.
used to have.
Right.
I mean, real fans who
fans.
care what happens.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. There's probably some baseball fans like, I've been here 7 innings. I deserve a medal. Let's go.
Oh, I'm out of here.
Right. Yeah.
And you can see them too.
Yeah.
You see those people. Like you got to the game before, first inning. Yeah, they're out. Seventh inning stretch. They're out of there. They're leaving. No doubt about it.
You think a lot of them get their tickets for free?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Probably. Yeah.
By the way, the Angels have defeated the Athletics 6-5. My fault. I said
Yep.
the A's were up 3-0.
3-0. As soon as you spoke that, like 10 minutes later, we were trailing.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Did you say we?
Yeah, they're our local teams. West Sacramento A's, baby.
Wow.
That's our squad. I don't know about you. I want them to win.
They're not we to me, but I'm not criticizing you. I haven't heard a lot of people around here call them we.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Are they we to you, Jay?
Yeah, of course.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, they're we.
Uh-huh.
They're the A's. I'm always have
Jay's
love
an
for the
A's guy too.
Yeah, until they leave us, and then I'll scorn lover.
Mm-hmm.
I won't have I won't have no love for him. I'll be like, yeah. Interesting, fellas. Go to the game, White Sox game, hat giveaway day. They're celebrating like 100-year anniversary of the White Sox, 125th year anniversary of the White Sox. And they were celebrating, I believe, the 93 team, which won the AL West and wind up getting smacked around in the playoffs. But they give away a hat, dope hat, super dope hat. So I grabbed the hat, like, cool. And I am a staunch hat type of guy. I don't normally wear hats, and you guys won't see it. If it's not an A's, it's not a Kings, it's not a 49ers, it's not a UT. It's like something that I'm a fan or went to, or it's got to be non-athletic. So I don't walk around wearing Cleveland Cavalier hats. I don't have Miami Heat hats. I don't have San Diego Padre hats, things like that. But when the A's leave, fellas, I'm diving deep. I'm going to get all the hats.
Are you getting all the A's?
Now I'm putting the fit, because it's one of those things where, as a shoe guy growing up, it's like, dang, you got to try to find an A's teal hat that matches the Mariners, color shoe way. That don't make sense, right? But now,
so you're gearing up for it.
Oh, I'm all out. Man, I'm going to grab everything.
Unless they stay.
Unless they stay. Yeah, no doubt about it.
They got the groundbreaking coming up on the 23rd.
Allegedly.
In Vegas.
The 23rd?
I believe it's the 23rd.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to be in Vegas.
When Drapes
morning.
is out there, we're going to have him FaceTime, take pictures. He's going to be on site, on location reporter for us.
I'm going to be out there that morning.
It is like 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I got an 11 o'clock, 10:50 flight back. So maybe I'll swing by there and videotape it for you guys.
Maybe you can disrupt the whole thing for us.
See what kind of pomp and circumstances. I know.
I got your sale t-shirt. I got your sale shirt ready.
We'll get back to the Kings also. The Knicks and the coaching search not going well next. Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Trey Songz, live. All the hits, all in one night. Trey Songz. Friday, June 20th, the venue at Thunder Valley. With special guest, Jeremiah. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com and see the show. Trey Songz, Friday, June 20th, the venue at Thunder Valley.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, tell me what's happening for the Employee Pricing Plus sales events.
Anyone can get you employee pricing, but at Hoblet, it's all about the plus. You can only get here. Save up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 2025 Ram 1500 crew cabs. One of the many reasons we are the #1 Ram truck dealer in California.
Well, why do you think Hoblet's consistently California's #1 Ram truck dealer?
You won't find a better price on the Ram truck you need. And with 500 new Rams available, no one has a better selection. Plus, being a fifth-generation family-owned dealer, you get the big city selection and savings with the small town service, and we have 7 Walter P. Chrysler Service Awards to prove it.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
16,000 total net savings on select new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie after 6,000 factory rebates and 10,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include 2,500 select inventory bonus cash, 500 on the job upfit, must show eligible upfit. Employee pricing factored into dealer discount. 5% savings. Sample VIN 711632. See dealer for details.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
I had the chance to interview former professional golfer and broadcaster Gary McCord a few years back. He hadn't yet enraged the Green Jackets with his television comments about their revered Georgia golf course. He was welcoming and above all humorous, which is why I recently picked up a copy of his book, Golf for Dummies by Gary McCord, a man possessed by golf's magical allure. This 5th edition will help new golfers learn the basics of the game and bring them, as he writes, from the darkness to the light. The book discusses types of clubs, types of courses, how to hit the ball, and how to keep score. The intent is to help you get the ball to the hole in fewer tries and with better form. You'll even find some basic exercises to get you into golf shape. It's a fun read and will help you get over some of the game's intimidation while getting you ready to visit the golf course on your own or with some friends. I always recommend a good PGA professional to guide you along the way, but Golf for Dummies is a fun way to approach a fun game. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
We got basketball tonight. Yay! Is this I know it's not technically a must-win for the Pacers, but is it essentially a must-win? Can they lose this game and still win the series?
No, I don't think so, because then they would have to take, 3 out of 4 from OKC. Thunder would have home court advantage back. Nah, they got to win this one to have a chance, I think.
I think they do. I agree with you. We'll look at what's going on with the Knicks coaching situation. It almost looks like they didn't know what they were doing. Before we get to that, some interesting comments here in the chateau on the text line. We've been talking about the best sporting events to attend, the best sports to actually witness in person.
Mm-hmm.
Brickhouse Industries says, you were talking about Live Golf.
Yeah.
Live is the Kirkland of golf tours.
Yeah, I see that. It's kind of basic and, just.
What's wrong with Live, man?
Nah, they have some brilliant golfers. They have some really great talent on that tour, but it's a team game and individual. For watching it on TV, it's just not easily digestible. It's confusing because you got the team scores on there, you got the individual scores. Like I was thinking, I was watching the other day, not for long, because I could only. It's golf on steroids almost, man. It's too much stimulation on the screen when watching it.
Yeah, I'm a traditionalist, Jay. I'm a PGA Tour guy.
Yeah,
I'll leave
no
it.
No doubt, just asking.
Fair question. I'll leave it at that. Spencer Lampkins. I love going to football games because we make a weekend trip out of it, but I'd rather watch it on TV. There's
what do you say?
The hotel right by, is it the Hilton right by Levi's? And then we did a pregame show there once, and you could see that people, they spend the whole weekend there, then they go to the game on Sunday, then they leave. I've never done that, but that looks like that would be fun.
Really?
Yeah. If you're a real fan, you make a whole weekend of being there, and then you cap your weekend by going to the game in the stadium.
But it ain't nothing around the stadium. Like, that's not the spot to be staying, is it? Stay in San Jose or, something like that. Make it a weekend there and then go to there.
Well, San Jose is just, right down.
Not across the street from the stadium. I know the hotel that's over there.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, ain't nothing around there.
Man, Drapes, you can't catch an Uber.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you don't have to stay there overnight. You can go out and
rent a car.
I guess. I
it
guess.
Just looks like fun. People seem to be having a fun time when they do it, and they really seem to have that sense of camaraderie. Like, hey, we're all fans here.
I got a question.
Get on the lime scooter.
I got a question for you on this. Because everybody.
Is this an anti-49er thing?
No, not at all.
Come on, man.
No, because I want to know. When we say it looks like people are having fun, how much do you think alcohol is involved in that? That fun side of doing that?
But I'm talking about before the game, like in the morning when it's, and I know you can start early, especially on the weekend. But
you mean I'm tailgating, the grilling and stuff like that?
Like in the hotel when people are they're on their way to the stadium.
Oh,
and they're just
okay.
In and out.
All right,
they're
I see
seeing
what you
each
mean.
other with
Okay.
and everyone's got the red satin jackets on and
Like,
everything.
yeah, it's game day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Spencer Lampkins also says, baseball's definitely my favorite. If I want something from the concessions, I send my wife, so don't miss anything.
Oh, really? Spencer Lampkins? All right, he's a baseball guy. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Send his wife. Because he's dialed in. He doesn't want to miss a pitch.
Right. Not
I
everybody
can see you doing that way.
Not everybody could get away with that.
Could you do that?
If I could,
Yeah,
I wouldn't flex that way.
Okay.
I wouldn't. Yes, I'd be. What can I get you? What do you need?
Okay.
Good for
All right,
Spencer.
Spencer Lampkins.
I'm watching the game. Go get me a hot
Go
dog.
get a hot dog. But if his wife knows he's dialed in and everything, she might be offering. He might not be, here, honey, here's $20. Go get me something. He might be like, hey, I got to go to the bathroom, hon. I know you're into the game. You want me to get you anything? That's okay, right?
I went to a game last September at Oracle with my daughter Lonnie, and we were watching the Giants and the Padres. And beforehand, we get something to eat. And I was like literally the idiot old man because we bought like 2 waters and like pizza or something. And I couldn't believe how much it was. And I was like, no.
And where was this at?
This was at Oracle.
Okay.
I was like, no. And my daughter's like, no, Dad, that's what it costs. I couldn't believe
What,
it.
you tried to give it back or something?
I
Or
just
cancel
tried to say
the
you
order or
made a
something?
mistake.
Oh.
You charged us, for somebody else or something. It's expensive.
It's no joke.
Jay.
Yeah.
So they over there. So Oracle over there overcharging for that overrated ballpark, huh?
Like water and a pizza.
Was about $32.
No, I think it was a lot more than that. 32 would be like,
Oh, you
okay.
got a full pizza, like a whole pizza, and not a personal.
No, it was
Okay.
it was more of a personal, and I don't remember how much it was, but I do remember when I saw it, I was like, no, you made a mistake.
There's 2 of them.
You're like, no,
And
that
my
can't be
daughter's like,
right.
Dad, no, that's just relax, Dad. That's it.
Man,
So it's a
okay.
little pricey.
Oracle overpricing. No problem. I got it.
All right.
Just speaks to volumes of the type of characters they are down there, fellas.
Big comeback for him last night, though, Jay. You got to admit
Against
that.
who was that against?
That was against the always pesky.
Right, the pesky.
2007 National League champion Colorado
Colorado
Rockies.
Rocky?
Yes, sir.
All right.
A win is a win is a win, Jay.
Yeah,
Come
Just
on
check
now.
it. Carlos Gonzalez ain't coming out of there.
Good ball player, former River Cat. I give him credit. They had a lot of people in that park. Some of them are Giants fans, but
Oh, in Colorado?
those Rocky fans, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're just fresh
I
to
don't
come
know
out
why.
the snow. The snow's been holding them down all year.
I don't know why they show up, but they show up.
Do. Yeah.
Good for them. Drapes, what do you think of what's going on here
Yeah.
with the Knicks coaching situation? The New York Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau, who, of course, did a great job for them. And did you see the thank you that he had in the paper?
Yeah,
today?
I saw the write-up. Yeah. The
very
note he
classy.
posted. Yeah.
Thanking the fans in New York. Well, the Knicks, they have reached out to Dallas this morning. The Mavericks said, no, we don't grant you permission to talk to Jason Kidd. I know Windhorst said when a team reaches out for permission, that typically means they want to hire the guy. It's not like, we want to talk to him.
Right.
So the Mavs shot him down. Maybe Jason Kidd played that to his favor. Maybe he went to the Mavs and said, I'm thinking about this. Maybe it worked out for him. But they said no. The Knicks formally reached out to the Rockets for permission to talk to Ime Udoka. The Rockets, the Knicks reached out to Minnesota to talk to Chris Finch, and the Timberwolves said, So maybe they don't know what they're doing.
Did you hear the latest one?
What's the latest?
From Shams. The Knicks have requested permission to speak with Atlanta Hawks head coach Quinn Snyder, but were firmly denied. Yeah. You would think they'd have somebody in mind if you make that kind of move.
When we talked about it, I was assuming, they must have done this because they had somebody. What was the name of the young coach that Cleveland passed on?
Who was the guy?
Johnny Bryant?
Yeah, Johnny Bryant.
Johnny Bryant. So that made sense. Like, they wanted that guy.
Yeah.
Now it looks like they just did something rash and they don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, they're left holding the bag. And, I mean, think about it. They've been turned down by 4 coaches. So they're going to their 5th choice. Like, they're going to get like their 6th or 7th choice, basically, when this is all said and done.
Right. And they already had a little bit of a PR mess to clean up because Tibbs did a great job. And every time a team says, it gets worse.
It gets worse.
They look worse.
They look worse. And so here's the thing that's interesting about this. You would think that they'd have somebody in mind when you fire Tibbs. You can't tell me you really believe your 7th, 8th, or 9th choice is a better coach than Tibbs.
Right.
Now you know what I mean? It's like if you leave, Tibbs, you better have somebody that's better than, and you can't tell me your 8th choice is a better option.
From Alan here in the text line. The Knicks called my employer and asked for permission to speak to me. Thankfully, they declined.
Boy, Alan on the text line.
Right there.
Even Alan turning them down, huh? That's how bad it is. But it's a good job and a good situation. And who knows? Maybe these coaches might have been interested. It's their employers saying, no, we're not allowing this.
Sure.
But if you're the Knicks, you're looking bad. You're looking bad.
Worse and worse.
Yes. You're looking pretty bad on this one.
Yes. The Kings, are they actually targeting anybody? Or are they just targeting everybody in a certain category? We're back with that. Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Giant Summer Sale and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Yeah, it happened over the winter. Our heater collapsed at a bad time of year for a heater to collapse. And we were very cold for weeks. There are so many HVAC companies out there. We didn't know who to call. Friend recommended we check out Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating at leesair.com. That was the right call. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. They were ready to come out the day that we called. We didn't need them to come out that day, but they appreciated the situation we were in. We'd come out right now. Didn't need them to, but we appreciated that. Appreciated the respect with which they treated us, from the person who answered the phone to the guys who installed our new HVAC unit. So why choose Lee's? They offer 100% satisfaction guarantee. That's a good reason. They get 4.8 stars on Google. They've won awards for their service, and they've spent more than 40 years serving the Valley's HVAC heating and plumbing needs. And I tell you, I know this because we are living it. You can trust Lee's with installation and repair of your AC, furnace, and water heater, plus residential, commercial plumbing repair, and commercial HVAC services too. You can find out more at leesair.com. Check out their mission statement. It's all about serving customers and serving our community. And check on their $99 HVAC tune-up service. Let Lee's take care of you the way they took care of us, treating me like family while setting us up with an HVAC system that has improved our quality of life and the air that we breathe. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, license number 635355.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads, great for you, and so easy you could put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage, weird, but still a salad. 1 radish and a couple of green beans, also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke? Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
If there's one thing we know about dads, it's that they're not easy to shop for. Enter Kohl's. They've got everything from Nike golf gear to his favorite Levi's jeans. And you can save 20% on other finds like Flex Athleisure and Izod Workwear. So if you're not sure what to get Dad for Father's Day, you know where to go. Shop Kohl's now. Select styles. Offer ends June 15th. Some exclusions apply. Coupons do not apply to Nike and Levi's. See store or Kohls.com for details.
This summer, give your kids a reason to smile, brightly. At Kids Care Dental, we make dental visits fun with a kid-friendly team, easy to schedule appointments, and expert doctors who really care.
Whether it's a checkup, a cleaning, or their very first visit, we've got you covered. We accept most insurances, and we're always ready when your schedule gets hectic.
Smiles grow here. Book online in minutes at kidscaredental.com. That's kidscaredental.com. Kids Care Dental, where healthy teeth make happy kids.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
I bet you know this one, Drapes. This one's really easy. I don't mean to insult you with how easy it is, but rest in peace, Brian Wilson, age, 82? The great Beach Boy, the biggest Beach Boy of them all. What current NBA player is related to the Beach Boys? You know that, right?
Kevin Love?
There you go.
Yeah, come on, big fella. Come on now.
That's what I said. I know.
Right,
I know.
Don't be disrespecting me like that.
I just said I don't mean to
that in a way
disrespect
back
you.
quiz?
No.
Anything with that? Okay.
I was just trying to think of a way to work a Brian Wilson mention into, sports talk, and that was the best I could come up with.
All right.
So his dad was, I think his uncle's Mike Love, who was one of the Beach Boys. I think that's how it works. And I think Kevin's dad, Stan, was an NBA player.
Stan Love, yeah, he was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, rest in peace to Ananda Lewis.
Yeah, I
Lost
saw
her
that.
battle with cancer
Really?
today.
Yeah, I saw that.
People like
Young,
myself growing up. Yeah, 51.
Damn.
She was a heartthrob for me, growing up in the 90s for MTV and The Insider, I believe, was the other show she was on. A few other things. Yeah, so rest in peace to Ananda Lewis as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Jay. The Kings, according to reports, Drapes, reports, suggestions, they're targeting Tyus Jones, right? There's a report that they're targeting him in free agency. There was a suggestion yesterday from your guy, Grant Afseth, that Kings targeted, I believe that was the wording, Darius Garland. And that they've been talking with Trae Young. And I know a lot of fans around here are starting to look at this and go, oh, man, they're after that guy. They've been talking about that guy. What are we going to give up? I suggest, humbly, this is not based on sources, and I'm not trying to report something. My observation, Drapes, is that the Kings are not targeting anybody. They're targeting anybody who's like an available point guard that they like. That's the target. It's not that guy or that guy. It's these guys. Would you agree?
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Yeah, I would agree. Doing their due diligence, and they're turning over every leaf, every stone out there.
Sure.
And I'm with you on that. I mean, I do imagine they probably have some guys that are higher than, than others, but, we're almost kind of desperate at that position right now. It's, we can't, we're not at a point where we could be like, nah, this guy, nah. All right, let's take a look at him. Let's take a look. And so I'm with you on that. Would you say targeting? Because to me, targeting means one guy or two guys.
I agree.
So I don't think they're targeting anybody.
Maybe it's nitpicking, but to me, that's the part of these reports that rubs me the wrong way, because you say they're targeting this guy, and if you're a fan, like, ooh, that's the guy they want.
Right.
It's one of the guys.
It's one of the guys. Yeah, exactly. And if you're Scott Perry, because I believe there's some interest in Tyus Jones, because he's a free agent point guard. He's probably looking at all the point guards on that list that we had the other day, including Dennis Schroeder. And so, and I'd also believe, too, we got to see what happens in the trade market, the KD trade, if you're honest. Like, I don't think Scott Perry's willing to commit to anybody. Like, that's my guy right now. I got to see who's available, Some guy, depending on the draft, some guys might become available that weren't available because if they drafted young, and so I think he's just doing his due diligence, man, looking at everybody.
A lot of moving parts.
Casting a wide net.
He's got to wait for things to settle down a little bit before he decides what to pursue.
You want a cast, go hit the American River.
That's the one thing I think we know about what's going on. The Kings are not obligated to tell us anything, and I think they're still sort through things. But we do know that when he first met with the media, Scott Perry said to us, we were both there, everybody, he said, we need a point guard. And I think he said point guard, not point guard. But anyway, that's why I said point guard. That appears to be, I think he was being honest. It appears from what we're hearing that is the position that they're pursuing, which also suggests, as we said at the time, if you're looking for a teardown or a rebuild or, tanking, it's not going to happen, because if you were doing that, you wouldn't be looking for a point guard. You're looking for someone to come in and stabilize, for the most part, what you already have. So I think it's fair to conclude that's what they're trying to do here. It's a matter of how specifically they do that.
Yeah, I agree. It's and just because if he decides, talking about Scott Perry, to run it back, if you will, and add a point guard, let's not confuse that for him being married to the roster or considering that the roster is perfect and all we need is a point guard. It may be A, no deal was available. B, I need to assess who I want to keep, who I don't want to keep. Or C, I'm going to just wait till the trade deadline. Or I'll wait till, I'm not in a rush to make this big splash. I want to get this right. And so if he does decide to run it back, like I said, I don't think it's an indictment of him saying the roster's fine, all we need is a point guard. I don't view it that way, from Scott. And so I think honestly, he's viewing this as a process, Whitey. This isn't a quick fix, if you will. I mentioned, earlier about what he did with New York, getting off some bad contracts, the Porzingis trade and things like that. And that took some time, to clear up the cap space and get the books in order. And so I could imagine he's probably looking at things and saying, you know what, it's going to take some time. Let me see who I want here. One thing I do know with Scott, Doug, Mike Woods, all the people that they've brought in, they're going to demand effort, tenacity, improved defense. I could tell you that. That's not negotiable right there. You got to be able to play some defense, or at least give the effort defensively. And if you don't, then we got to make some decisions on you going forward.
Jay went and tracked it down. Here's exactly what Scott Perry said when he talked about the Kings' needs going forward.
I'm just learning this roster again. I've watched them from afar. There's some talent here. There's an obvious need. I think everybody in this room probably would agree to it, that there's not a true point guard on the roster. Also, as I assess it from afar, I think we need to add more length and athleticism to this group to enhance some of the talent that's here. So that's from that standpoint, that's kind of what I'm looking at doing right now. And the second part of your question was the identity. Any successful or pro sports organization, or any company for that matter, has to have an identity. And that's one thing that I don't see here yet, but that's what I'm all about, is establishing an identity. What does it mean to be a Sacramento Kings player?
Yeah, what you said there, Drapes, if what you said is true, and I agree with you, then it just underscores what a tough spot Scott Perry could be in. Let's say he looks at the roster and it's not one that he's totally satisfied with, but he's got to essentially sell it to fans with the season starts. You obviously can't come out and go, we don't love these guys.
Right.
You can't say that.
Right.
So at the same time, if you're, hey, this is our bunch, you've got a lot of fans that are going to be skeptical of that. So he knows it. We know it. He's in a potentially really tough spot. And I hope they're able to do something positive enough where a lot of fans are going to get excited about it. That's going to make that transition a little smoother, but it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Like if he does a Tyus Jones signing, do the fans get excited about that?
A lot of fans do not.
Right. That's the thing. So how do you, our conversation we had earlier, how do you get the fans pumped and fired up about this?
I think, and this isn't necessarily why they need to do it, because there are more important things than getting the fans fired up, but you got to trade back into the first round. To me, what that represents, hey, we're looking for young guys. We're getting younger. We're looking for guys that maybe going to be the stars of the future. I get the sense talking to fans and reading the texts and the comments, that's what fans are really clamoring for.
Yeah, some young, exciting talent, up and coming talent. I'm with you on that.
Look how people gravitate when we have the conversation and they say we need to focus on that young core of Keegan and Keon and Devin Carter, and you're saying you'll get killed if that's your core.
Yeah. Oh, that's unbelievable, man. That's that's not it. But why can't we have a solid mix of veterans and develop some young guys too? Like, I think part of the problem a lot of times with teams these days too, they don't have veterans to show the young guys the way. And, instead you got like Washington, for instance, Charlotte to that extent too. It's like you got a bunch of guys with their heads running out there with their heads cut off. I think you need, some, like, you can be competitive and still build for the future. I firmly believe that.
Guerrero Grows is having a big day
in
the Chateau, and I believe this is in response to your theoretical what if it's Tyus Jones? 2 crickets. He has the emoji.
Oh, is that what he okay, yeah. That's the thing. Solid player, but he just doesn't move the needle in terms of he's not going to be on the headlines, ESPN bottom ticker or nothing like breaking news or anything like that.
What would be really good about that from the team standpoint is that Tyus Jones he didn't have a great year last year, and he's still going to be probably on a short-term prove it.
Yeah.
That's when you don't want the guy to like, I made my money, I'm good.
Right.
You want the guys like, I have to prove what I can do so I can make more money.
Is he a guy that you want? Like, is he good enough defensively?
He's not good defensively.
Right. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
He's a good shooter. That's a weird thing. You look at his numbers, and they're pretty much what he always does. And he's been a good player. So why didn't it work in Phoenix?
Right.
Not saying it's all his fault, but it's like, I don't know what happened there. They weren't even starting him at the end. They weren't even
starting him at the end. 41% 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
This last 2 seasons, 41.4. Well, and Whitey's 29 too. Did you know that? That's not a young,
right?
So he might be the bridge kind of guy.
Tower bridge guard.
Yeah, he might be a year or 2, if that, max on that.
A couple of quick thoughts on the Knicks coaching situation. Jared Williams says, watch the Knicks get Mike Brown. Logical Raptors fanatic asks, Stan Van Gundy incoming? I mean, it might come to something like that. But you still got a number of big names, right? You mentioned you got Budenholzer out there.
Yeah. I'm surprised, though, because we thought it was going to be, who was it? Johnny Bryant, did we say?
Yeah.
Like, these are all veteran coaches that, they're trying to target. Chris Finch, Quinn Snyder, Ime, that are turning them down. The belief I thought was it was going to be some young up and comer.
Yeah.
And that may be what they settle on, but it doesn't seem like it right now.
My guess is the thought is we're trying to win now. We can't go through a year of a young coach who's never coached figuring out how to do it. We don't have that kind of time.
Right. Yeah. It's going to be hard to, I think, find somebody better than Tibbs that can come in and win immediately with that team.
Yeah. Who's best coach in the league right now? JJ Redick?
Jay's guy. Jay's guys. Sign him up. That's hilarious.
No comment, Jay. Okay. All right.
Doug Christie.
There you go. The conversation continues, of course, when we come back. Also, we'll look at what would be a graceful way out for everybody in the A's to Vegas fiasco. There may be a way for everybody to get out of this thing looking halfway decent and exit it gracefully. That's next year, the Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Right now, get a $15 gift card after rebate with the purchase of select AC Pro refrigerant products at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your next adventure is waiting at Sky River Casino with a $500,000 travel around the world giveaway. Get 1 free daily entry and 100 bonus entries every Monday and Tuesday. Earn more entries by playing slots and table games. Join us every Saturday, where you can pack your bags as our guaranteed $15,000 dream vacation winner. Visit skyriver.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests, Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra. Tickets are available now at CITPFest.com.
Hi, I'm Alan Stiles. Injured at work? Call Downtown. Downtown LA Law Group, California's leading injury law firm. With over 40 lawyers throughout California, they've won over $500 million in settlements. Downtown LA Law Group will get you compensation for your work injury. You don't pay unless they win. That's right. You pay zero up front. Call Downtown. Text Injury Help to 40222. That's Injury Help to 40222. Visit them at calldowntown.com.
I get around, yeah, get around, round, round. I get around, I get around,
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Brian Wilson apparently was some kind of musical genius. Didn't show up so much in some of these songs, but like some of that Pet Sound stuff. Woo! By the way, all the best to DeMarcus Cousins. He's been suspended for the rest of the season after the incident in Puerto Rico. I think this headline says it better than I could. Former NBA star DeMarcus Cousins suspended for season after groin scratching altercation with fan. So we just wish him the best. It was just I watched that and I just felt bad for him.
It was
Sad.
cringy, huh? Yeah, it was kind of bad. Just him grabbing the groin, fan right there, and then walking, like, it was pretty bad.
And then seeing, like 5 guys tackling
him.
And I understand why they needed to, but it was just so sad.
Yeah, it was.
To see him fall that far.
10 years ago, this guy was the man on top of the world, 27 and 12, looking great, all-star caliber. And now banned from the Puerto Rico League.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a fall from grace right there for Big Cuz.
Yeah. And as Jay pointed out a moment ago, I hope you don't mind me saying this, Jay, but, DeMarcus never quite got that big payday. He was right there. And then he got, 2 really bad lower body injuries, like consecutively. Kind of had the same type of situation Clay had, which just prevented him from getting back on that track, unfortunately.
DeMarcus Cousins' career earnings, according to Basketball Reference. And, I'm not going to cry for him or anything like that. It's still $91,910,000.
Mm-hmm.
Who did we have earlier that I said career earnings was? Oh, Ben Simmons. Nearly double Ben Simmons.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
His most he made in 1 year, DeMarcus Cousins, $18 million. That was that year with the Pelicans, and then the injury happened. And then he made $5 million and 1.6. Yeah, went downhill quickly for him.
And I know that he did not get along with George Karl at all, but George Karl did put him in position to kind of evolve with the game. Remember under George Karl's where he started shooting threes.
Oh, really?
For a lot of people, it's like,
okay.
What are they doing with DeMarcus
here?
Cousins? But he was a good shooter.
Right.
And, and that was the direction which the game was headed.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of his numbers.
So he did. He did it, and he deserves more credit than coach because he had to do it. He did. He was kind of evolving with a game that was starting to pass the traditional big man by.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm looking at the numbers. First year, he shot 0.2 threes per game, then 0.2, 0.3, 0.1, 0.1, then 3.2, then 5.
That was like, whoa.
Wow. Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. And not surprisingly, that was one of his all-star years, too. That's the year he averaged 27 and 11 and then got traded to the Pelicans during all-star weekend.
2-time all-star?
3-time.
3-time.
No, whoa. Hold up here. Hold up, buddy. 4-time all-star.
Wow.
4-time all-star. 2-time all-NBA. Wow. So that's a pretty damn good career. I mean,
definitely is.
The injuries obviously cut it short, but man, he was on track to be a Hall of Famer.
Is he? I was going to say, is he McDonald's All-American? That's where I always start. Can you see it right there?
Yeah, I'm 1,000% sure he was.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, because him and John Wall, that Kentucky class,
movement,
first recruiting class for
Drapes,
John Calipari.
He might be knocking on the door of the Hall of Fame, man.
Nah, Jay.
2019 with the Warriors, he had good numbers with them, didn't he?
2019,
he averaged like 16 and 8 or something.
Yeah, he only played 30 games though, Whitey, that season. 16 points, 8.2 rebounds. Yeah, in 30 games.
Has he got a Puerto Rican League championship?
Come on.
Seriously, all that stuff matters.
Basketball Reference ain't got that there.
You mean in the Hall of Fame?
Yes,
yeah, for the Hall of Fame.
That stuff matters. It's international play, champ.
Hold up here. Let me ask Chat GPT.
If you scored 16 points in your driveway, the Hall of Fame's like, yes.
Right.
It's
Hold
basketball.
Up. Chat GPT. Hold up here. Is DeMarcus Cousins a Hall of Famer? See what Chat GPT says. Oh, wait. It got my hold up here in there also. So
it'll probably give you the literal answer, right? He is not currently in the Hall of Fame.
All-American out of high school. He is a McDonald's All-American for sure. He's got, as you said, 4-time NBA All-Star, 2-time All-NBA team, All-Rookie first team. He I would imagine T1 League. That's the Puerto Rican League. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, he also played in China, didn't he, for a little bit?
Yeah. Taiwan, right? Was it Taiwan? So that might be Taiwan League. They won the championship. He was a finals MVP. He's got, remember this now. He's got a gold medal.
Jay, you come on.
He's got a gold. I'm just saying he's got a gold medal, and he's got a gold medal at the World Cup.
He didn't do enough for a long enough period. His total points are pretty good, but it's just his whole career is marked by what could have been.
He's a Hall of the Very Good.
Hall of Very Good. Here, Chat GPT gave me an answer.
Okay.
It said, first of all, it made the case what supports his Hall of Fame. 4-time All-Star, All-NBA, 2 Olympic gold medals, the FIBA World Cup and the Rio Olympics.
Right, 2014.
Yeah, 2014. What works against him? Career-altering injuries, post-injury production, no NBA championships, and limited playoff success, and lack of. Then it gives you the community perspectives from Reddit and all the websites. And then final verdict. Verdict. Cousins had Hall of Fame level talent and peak performance, but unsustained by injuries. He likely falls short of the Hall benchmark.
Yeah.
Absence of resurgence or surprise championship push, he remains more of a borderline candidate.
Yeah, to me, Jay, it's not that he's Hall of Very Good. It's just he was on that path, but he was knocked off that path because of injuries, and he was never close to that player.
Got you.
Yeah.
I think what hurts him, and I'm just keeping it 1,000, fellas, is there's a lot of reporters and analysts and people who dislike his attitude.
Doesn't help. When it comes to all that stuff.
I think that will keep him, probably keep him out of the Hall.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And somebody from the 916, didn't he win the Natty at Kentucky as well? No, he did not.
Nope. They to the Elite Eight, right?
Yeah, they got upset. Yeah. They were great that regular season. I think they were undefeated and 1 loss maybe or something.
Did they even make it to the Final Four?
I don't know.
They made it to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, I remember.
I remember him talking about it.
I remember watching that game at McCooney.
Look at you, big timer.
All right. Let me
little sushi on the end of
I know, right?
Chopsticks, huh?
No such thing as a little sushi.
2009-10 Kentucky Wildcats. Because John Wall, Cousins. That team actually went 35-3. They were the number 1 seed, won the first round, second round semifinals, Elite Eight. They lost to West Virginia, 73-66.
Like Kevin Pittsnoggle in there?
Yeah, I think so. Good call, Jay. Pittsnoggle, nice. Big Cuz, yeah.
We'll look at the A's and the situation with the Vegas and how everybody could come out of this smelling pretty good next on Sacktown Sports.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads. Great for you, and so easy you could put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage. Weird, but still a salad. 1 radish and a couple of green beans. Also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke. Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hot summer savings explode at Maida's Elk Grove Chevy. Save $12,000 off MSRP after rebates. Every new 2025 Silverado half-ton LT and RST in stock. Maida Chevy has similar savings on every new Silverado. One of the largest selections in the Sacramento area. $12,000 off new Silverado exclusively at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Last rated 2011 renewal. Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Whitey here for Napoleon Grills, reminding you that when buying a new grill, every detail matters. While supplies last, you'll receive a $149 gift with purchase on every new Napoleon Prestige stainless steel grill. The kit even includes a pizza lover starter kit and much more. And now up to $79 off Napoleon Rogue models. Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last.
with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts amazing quality. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Skeeter here. Got a question. What's small and dark with white bands on its legs and bites during the day?
Mosquitoes. Hi, I'm Luz Maria Robles, but these are two new types of day-biting mosquitoes. They're invading our area and becoming a big problem.
And they can be dangerous.
But we're on it, so when you see them, report it at fightthebite.net. In the meantime, use insect repellent and drain stagnant water around your yard.
We're here to help with these day-biting mosquitoes.
Visit us at fightthebite.net.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Progressive knows road trips without your pet can be tough.
Hi, this is Next Stop Dog Boarding.
Hi, it's Scott again. How's Squeaks doing? You can tell if he's stressed by his eyebrows. Oh, and his breathing should sound like this.
Scott, Squeaks is exactly the same as last time you called.
Okay, let's talk in 20 to see if anything's changed.
With Progressive, your pet is covered up to $1,000 in vet bills in case of a car accident. So next time, you can take your pet with you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
We get it. Tariffs are tough. Power tools are getting expensive. But at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, we're solving that problem for 2 short days on June 20th and June 21st. We're putting all DeWalt power tools on massive discount. Batteries for less than $100. Combo kits for under $150. 20% off all regular price tough system boxes and much, much more. So stop by Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet in Sacramento on June 20th and 21st for some of the lowest prices on tools you'll ever see this year. To see all of what's on sale, visit FastenersInc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
I got royalty inside my DNA. Quarter piece got war and peace inside my DNA.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
With the NBA Finals now in Indianapolis, the Pacers have done something that a lot of their fans are not happy about. Apparently, during the Eastern Conference Finals, the Knicks named some of the streets outside of Madison Square Garden after their players during the series. Then they lost, and a lot of people thought, that shows you, it's a little premature. And some Pacers fans laughed at that. The Pacers have just done the same thing, and Pacers fans saying, no, why are you doing that? So you have, I don't have an issue with it, but apparently some superstitious fans hate the idea of having Halliburton Road, Bryant Boulevard. Thomas Bryant has a street named after him outside the arena, Turner Lane, and Toppin Avenue.
Toppin Avenue.
A lot of Pacers fans are not happy about that.
I saw that the other day, and I thought, oh, man, they must have saw, what the Knicks did and thought, it was a good idea. And, it actually is a good idea, but now you got to win, right?
Right.
It's, I don't believe in that superstition or anything, like if OKC did that, would their fans be like, no, you're the favorite.
I'm surprised they didn't.
I'm surprised they didn't. That would be pretty cool. Shea Way.
They might only have like 2 streets though there outside of their.
Don't be dissing OKC, man.
What? No.
Yeah, fine city. Fine people in Oklahoma City. Shout out to my people out there. Don't be doing that, Whitey.
No, it's true.
That because people say the same thing about Sacramento.
It's not true. Not true. It's not true about Sacramento.
People say the same thing, man. But there's your boy Lou Dort, undrafted.
Lou Gintz. That's amazing. We'll get back to the finals in a moment. I want to see what you guys think of this on the A's in Vegas. Tell me if I'm crazy. Jay, I think you've kind of been leading the charge on this. It looks like, I know they have their groundbreaking next week, right? The 23rd, and you might actually be there for that.
I might go. I got to figure out how I can get close and get access.
It's hard to know what's going on. It looks pretty sketchy. And there's still a big gap between what it's going to cost and what the A's are looking for in terms of investors. They don't have the money. They don't have the investors. If this thing continues to just kind of spiral downward, maybe at some point here before too long, baseball says, look, you got to sell the team. they've been doing, baseball's been bending over backwards, as Damon Amendolara says every time we talk to him, and every time you hear him talk about this. He doesn't understand why baseball's been just doing whatever you want, John Fisher. At some point, they have to realize this is embarrassing to us. You're going to have to sell. Maybe he does sell. Maybe he sells to Vegas interests. Maybe he sells to somebody else. And then Vegas, baseball can say, look, you've got the plans. Just hang on to that. We'll give you an expansion team, and then you can proceed with your plans. And then so Vegas is like, okay, then we get our own team. And then John Fisher sells the team, gets his money, and then the A's go, I don't know where. Maybe back to Oakland. Maybe they come here. But wouldn't that be a potential win-win out of what is still a very messy situation?
How many teams they got now in the league? 30?
30.
Okay.
And they're supposed to add 2.
So, yeah, add 2. So
said.
you're saying the expansion one in Vegas.
Uh-huh.
Fisher
they want to go
sells,
to Vegas eventually.
And
anyway.
then, another team somewhere else.
Which is probably going to be Nashville. That's almost a done deal. Nashville for baseball is almost as done a deal as Seattle and Vegas are for the NBA.
But, if you're Fisher, might be what he's thinking. And that all sounds fine and dandy, way. But is he looking at Vegas and the finances that come with it, the money he could make from that? Like, the team won't lose value going forward. So whether he sells it now versus 20 years from now, maybe he's thinking, let me go to Vegas, make, whatever for 10 years, 15 years, then sell it.
Yeah.
Like he's not.
I agree with you. But I think either he would have to be cornered financially where he'd be forced to sell, or maybe, Jay, at some point, maybe baseball has to open their eyes and realize, wow, this is a disaster. Sorry, we've tried to help you out, but you have to sell because you're ruining our business.
Let me ask you.
Baseball can do that.
Let's add his
They can do that with teams.
But let me ask, has he done enough to force a sale?
I think
you rarely see that
in
any professional sport.
Not right now, but if this continues to just linger, if the Vegas thing continues to be a boondoggle where, if I'm using that term right, where we don't have any resolution and they keep kicking the can down the road, baseball may have to. At some point, I think baseball has to do something. You're right. Not yet, but that moment to me is not far off.
Well, here's the thing, though, Whitey, and I compare it to Donald Sterling. Is John Fisher
it's nothing like Sterling.
No, but I'm even saying before the racist stuff came out.
Uh-huh.
Like just the mismanagement, just the way he treated employees, just, the roster, everything. NBA didn't let him go slide for all that. It wasn't until the recordings came out with his mistress or, secretary or whatever she was.
Yeah.
And so has John Fisher, is being a bad owner enough to force a sale?
Not in and of itself, but if this continues here, the thing in Sacramento, we love Sacramento. It's not Sacramento's fault. This thing is not going well here in Sacramento. Maybe they improve it. Maybe they figure out some things, but it's not a good situation. No one knew what it was going to be. Maybe there's time for it to turn a corner, but that's bad for baseball. Baseball keeps doing everything for John Fisher, and what does baseball end up with? They're holding the bag, the whole thing in Vegas. What's going on? We need some resolution here. So, again, I'm not saying right now they're going to step in and go, that's it. But if he doesn't get things taken care of in Vegas soon, they may have to step in. It's bad for the business of baseball the way it's going, especially if he's going to continue to be a revenue sharer while the other teams are paying for him.
Do you believe that John Fisher and Major League Baseball feel like they have an issue with stadium funding in Vegas? Because everybody on the outside seems to, be skeptical that it will ever be built. Do you think Manfred is skeptical? Fisher is skeptical? I don't know if they are, Whitey. And if they aren't, and they believe they can get this done, in their eyes, that's a win. That's success, right?
But they don't have the money yet. And I don't know. Are they close? We know that they've been looking for investors to fill that gap. And if they don't, John Fisher's on the hook for it. A lot of people don't think he's going to want to pay that. and they're still looking for investors. And that's the big question here. If he doesn't have the money, then baseball's hand is going to be forced. I'm just saying it's potential, and there is room, if it comes to that, for everybody to kind of, okay, you know what? I'm going to sell. Maybe they send the team back to Oakland and baseball does a victory lap. Oh, yes, this is where it belonged all. Oh, yes, we've extended the olive branch. But it just can't keep going like this. Years ago, baseball said, we want to expand, we want to add 2 teams, but we have to take care of 2 situations. This is years ago. Got to take care of the situation in Tampa Bay. Got to take care of the situation in Oakland. Both those teams are currently in minor league stadiums. It's gotten worse.
Right.
You know that.
Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
What I almost think, fellas, and I've said this to numerous people. People have called me for interviews and thoughts and opinions on this. In many ways, what Damon Amendola, our friend of the show, has said, I think it's going to get to the point to where baseball is going to save John Fisher's tail. And I think that's kind of what you're saying. You know, both of you guys are saying, to where the point of it is listen, this has gone on long enough. It looks bad. And I think because baseball wants to be in Vegas, one way or another, they will pay for John Fisher to be in Vegas.
Yeah.
And that, unfortunately, I think it's going to come down to that, because I've said it numerous times. If you think John Fisher is going to take John Fisher and the Fisher family are going to utilize their money, you must be out of your mind. It's just not happening.
Right.
It hasn't happened yet. Until we see it, we can't believe it. But I do think baseball is going to put the cape on and they're going to come save
I think Manfred's going to pick up the phone.
I think so too.
He's going to talk to somebody. I think the financing will get to, because it's too important to baseball to fail at this point. I think
in Vegas,
yes, in Vegas right now.
I can't believe there aren't, and maybe there aren't, but local people there like, oh yes, I want a part of the team, but apparently not, because no one's coming to bat, so to speak, to fill that funding void.
Right. Yeah, and maybe it's because of the ownership. You know, we had our boy Brian Salmon on, sports anchor down there in Vegas. Yeah. He's like, nobody's really checking for Major League Baseball here. Like, there's no excitement, you know. Like, I don't even know if the fans really want it there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Do you think that's bad? Maybe some of that's like, well, of course not. They're not there yet. But don't you think if you're MLB, you'd like to have a little more enthusiasm there over what's supposed to be coming in a few years?
How about this? I'm going to the groundbreaking. I want to see the vibe. You would think be 1,000 A's fans out there, you know? Like, showing up, right? Like, this is a monumental day, right? Like, wouldn't it? Or is it just going to be 10 local dignitaries and John Fisher and some shovels?
The way the A's do it, there'd be like 400 people there, and they'd say 10,000 people showed up.
But I'm gonna get the vibe in Vegas for us, fellas. Wonder if I can expense this trip, first of all. Yeah. But you know what I mean, Jay? I'm a work assignment, if you will. But I'll be out in Vegas that morning.
Can I ask you guys this when it comes to baseball in Vegas? We have heard, I mean, even from the mayor, down to the mayor or up to the mayor, however you want to, phrase that. It doesn't seem to be any interest. Brian Salmon said doesn't have any interest. DA, we've had tons of people. But one thing we have heard from a few insiders and analysts and reporters on the show is Vegas has enough money to just pass it through and don't cough at it. Bally's is on the hook for whatever they're doing in that location. That's their land. I've asked, why has Bally's not came out and just said, you know what? Let's just go in a cahoots with each other. Let's go in a partnership and let's figure it out.
I would guess because some of the numbers, the way it's penciled out, some of the numbers are not realistic. And maybe you look at it, it's like, they're not going to draw 30,000 fans a game, on the strip with that team.
Right.
So are we going to be able to make the money that this plan says we are? By the way, somebody here asks, if John Fisher and the A's are making money, if the investors or the other owners are making money, is he really a bad owner? He's a bad owner if he does so much damage to the product that it starts to hurt the business for the other owners too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which would basically mean we continuously have to keep paying for your butt to keep messing up.
Exactly.
Right? Revenue sharing.
Yeah. I get the point. It's a good point. He has been making a lot of money.
Oh,
yeah. But if you start to do damage to other people's interests, that's where somebody's hand may be forced.
Yeah.
Oh, I like where you're going, Whitey.
Right.
I tend to think that's it's too much common sense, so it won't happen.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, common sense has had very little to do with any of this with the A's, right? Seriously,
100%.
very little.
And you did use boondoggle correct.
Yes.
Boondoggle.
Nice.
Work or activity that is wasteful or pointless but gives the appearance of having value.
Sure.
Okay.
That's the Oakland A's at this point.
Yeah, the Oakland, formerly Oakland Boondoggles. Meanwhile, Hallie's on the spot. Who did not see this coming with Hallie Burton? Conversations continuing here with the Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Well, the latest class of the A's Hall of Fame will be inducted before the A's play the Reds on September 13th. And what a group, including longtime A's broadcaster Monty Moore and the big three, Hudson, Mulder, and Zito. And when those guys pitch together in the A's rotation over a 5-year span, their combined records 234 and 119. Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. It's how retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And it's how healthcare offices become data-managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
This summer, give your kids a reason to smile, brightly. At Kids Care Dental, we make dental visits fun with a kid-friendly team, easy to schedule appointments, and expert doctors who really care.
Whether it's a checkup, a cleaning, or their very first visit, we've got you covered. We accept most insurances, and we're always ready when your schedule gets hectic.
Smiles grow here. Book online in minutes at kidscaredental.com. That's kidscaredental.com. Kids Care Dental, where healthy teeth make happy kids.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kip Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kip Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sacktown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Catch all the action at Sky River Casino. Enjoy over 80 table games, more than 2,100 slot machines, and a thrilling high-limit room. Plus, with 18 elevated restaurants, bars, and lounge destinations, and Sky River rewards that add up and up. There's something for everyone. Just minutes from Sacramento, right off Highway 99 in Elk Grove. Join in the fun and experience new heights. Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Well, I hope Tyrese Halliburton's okay. We're getting ready for the next game. Game 3 of the NBA Finals, and they just had a shot on the pregame show on ABC. Said he has something wrong with his lower right leg, and then they just showed his foot while he was shooting, Drapes, in his lower right leg. I didn't see anything. Everything looked okay.
No damage, no scars or anything?
Nice shoes and everything, but they literally just showed him jumping around, and they had a tight shot of his right foot.
Look like a normal leg and everything?
I didn't notice anything.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I should have.
All right, got to zoom in a little tighter, maybe.
Maybe some of these doctors that do that, with guys I've never seen.
Right,
maybe someone take that video and go, as you can see here, the soleus muscle in the calf is not firing.
The soleus muscle, okay.
The soleus and what's the other one? The gastrocnemius would be your other calf
You know
muscle.
what it is? All right.
Yeah, in the calf. But we don't know for sure if it's the calf. Here's the thing, Drapes. Halliburton's on the spot here. Who didn't see this coming? Lou Dort is shutting off Halliburton with his, I don't know if you read slates today. Lou Dort has a defensive bag. I think it was Jalen Williams who said that. You say it all the time.
Yeah.
He's in his bag.
Like fries at the bottom.
Yeah. And usually we say that about a player offensively. He's in his bag. Jalen Williams says Lou Dort has a defensive bag.
Really?
Yes.
How does he explain this defensive bag? What did he say?
He just says he's got a lot of stuff he can do. A lot of different things.
All right.
And in 4 meetings between these teams over the last 2 seasons, Halliburton has averaged 12 points per game. That's his lowest average against any opponent during that span. So it's no surprise, right? This is not a good matchup. Right. The series isn't over, but this is not a good matchup for Tyrese Halliburton.
No, it isn't. And, this is, if you're Halliburton, I'm sure he knows all these numbers and everything. He hears the chatter. If you want to be that superstar, that guy, you got to win this matchup. You got to figure out a way. And you can't just look at your coach. Coach, bail me out. Set some screens for me. No, I mean, and I get it. Lou Dort is a fantastic defender and everything like that. But if you're Tyrese Halliburton, Team USA, you got to figure out a way to be impactful. And, I expect a big game from Halliburton because he's been locked up like Alcatraz these last 2 games. And so
no free throws,
a
lot of threes, as you pointed out.
Right. A lot of threes, about 60% of his shots coming from 3 range. And so, no, I'm looking for an aggressive Tyrese Halliburton out here early on. And give credit to Lou Dort, though. I mean, Lou Dort's phenomenal, man. He's amazing. Undrafted guy, starting on a championship caliber team, has turned his game into not only defense, but now he can knock down the 3. With that being said, if you want to be a star, you got to win this matchup. Like, think about this. Andre Iguodala. He won Finals MVP, right?
He sure did. 2015. He probably shouldn't have won it.
Probably shouldn't have won.
But he did.
But why do you think he won that, Whitey?
Defense, because he had to guard LeBron.
What did LeBron do in that series? Do you remember at all how he did in that series?
I don't recall, but I'm guessing he probably averaged like 34 or something.
2015. I would have pulled this up because, what we're seeing is, I got it right here. 2015, that final series in which Golden State won in 6 games. LeBron James in that series. 35.8 points, 8.8 assists, 13.3 rebounds. So we both agree Andre Iguodala should not have. But I'll bring this up because LeBron found a way. And I understand Tyrese ain't LeBron and everything like that. But if you're Tyrese Halliburton, you got to find a way to be impactful. And I understand LeBron didn't shoot that great in that series, 40%. That was the series. Did guys get hurt that series? Was that
Kyrie and Love?
And Kevin Love series, right?
That looked like a series early on.
Right, it did early on, and then those guys got hurt. But if I'm Tyrese, you got to figure out a way, man.
Wasn't that when David Lee had a good series off the bench?
Yeah, and the thing about LeBron, he went down swinging. He was getting the shots up. Wait, look at this stat line. 38 shots, 35, 34, 22, 34. Those are shot attempts. Tyrese, 13 and 13. Nah, they ain't going to get it. If you're going to be locked up, at least go down swinging. He's going down with a whimper right now.
Yeah. with the way he plays, and given that Tyrese is not a shoot first guy, I think it might be more useful to look at how the offense functions. If he has 14, but they score a lot of points, I think there's a good chance he's impactful.
Right.
It's not just how many points did you score. If he scored 22 and they score 89 points, he wasn't
impactful. Right. It's not about that. Yeah, it's not about his scoring per se. Ideally, he's high in scoring and high in assists, ideally. But to your point, I mean, if he's at 20 and 14 assists or something, that's impactful stat line. Now, his problem, as I take a look and I haven't looked at it, but I'm going to pull it up right now. His problem too, Whitey, is, when you look at the points 17 and 14, but also the assist 6 and 6.
Yeah.
It's like, he's averaging what? 15.5.6 assists.
Mm-hmm.
That's like fourth option numbers.
Yes. Some of that is the problem Domas had in the playoff series against the Warriors, though. How come he doesn't have more assists? Well, you have to make shots or you don't get assists.
Yeah, that's true. Your teammates got to make shots. But, watching these games, and we talked about it yesterday, and you got to be able to get in the paint if you're Tyrese. I'm not seeing the same Tyrese I saw against the Knicks, where he's getting into the paint, making things happen.
Maybe drawing a foul now.
Drawing a foul. How about this? Got his stats right here. And it's not like he took 1 million free throws in that Knicks series. That's just not his game, getting to the line. But he averaged 3.7 free throws per game in that Knicks series. That's not a lot.
Right.
But at least he got there.
It's more than none.
It's more than none. I'm looking at this game log. Game 1, 4, 2, 4, 6, 5. The clinching game, only 1. But damn, if you're only averaging 15.5 points and 6 assists and your shot's not falling, you're being limited, find another way to be impactful.
I think I would play him off the ball more, and that they've done that.
They've done that. Yeah.
Nembhard can run point a little bit. That's if he struggles. Just try to loosen things up for him a little bit. Obviously, he had a really good fourth quarter, but it was too little too late.
Yeah. How much do you think, and they've done that,
yeah,
but how much, and Nembhard's done a fantastic job, but how much do you think the Pacers need Tyrese on the ball? Because it elevates everybody else. Nembhard does a fine job, but it's not Tyrese level. And not only scoring the ball, I'm talking about getting others involved. Does Nesmith's jobs becomes a lot easier? He gets better looks when Tyrese is on the ball. Does Nembhard get better looks? Pascal, Turner, Nembhard can run the point, but it's not Tyrese level.
Yeah, I know. But I keep going back to that one play where Tyrese went into the lane. I think it was the second half, third quarter. And Shea stole the ball from behind him as he went up. Yeah, and there was, I think, 3 OKC defenders in the lane waiting for him.
Yeah.
Then he had the fourth come from behind him.
Yep.
So if they're focusing on him that much, they're basically taking that away. Playmaking in addition to the offense. So you have to find another way of attacking if that continues.
But could it be, to your point, not only taking him off the ball? To me, when I think taking him off the ball, that in my opinion, if I'm coaching, does not mean you're not involved in the action. Maybe he's the secondary ball handler.
Right.
And maybe you get him on the move catching the ball or something instead of bringing the ball up the court in the set defense. Maybe you get him more on the move on the ball.
Like you said, the set defense. If they score on you and you're bringing the ball up in the half court, they've already got you.
Right.
Especially the way Indiana plays. It's got to be chaotic.
Yeah.
And they got to get stops and get out and run.
Right. Exactly. No, it's a chess match now, right? This is where, and Pacers are fortunate to have it tied 1-1 because OKC's been in control pretty much this entire series so far, except on the scoreboard in game 1. But I'm interested to see what Rick Carlisle does, to your point, here in game 3.
Kevin Pelton from ESPN joins us bottom of the hour. When we come back, 3 crucial lessons the Kings must learn from these NBA finals. Next to the drive, guys. Don't go away.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. You know summer is pretty much here, and Father's Day is right around the corner. One way to get Dad fired up for Father's Day, trust me, I know, stop into Amy's Outdoor Living and see their ultimate lineup of barbecue grills. We're talking Weber gas grills starting at just $3.99. Traeger Woodridge pellet grills starting at $7.99. That's a great price. Rectech begins at just $5.99. Plus, think about this. Amy's has free setup and delivery. The Gosney pizza ovens, I got one of those, starts at $3.99. Nothing like being out back with your family, making a homemade pizza. Find great gifts for Dad like Yeti coolers and comfy hammocks. Amy will pay the sales tax on all in-stock furniture. Family-owned and operated, Amy's Outdoor Living on El Camino near Watt, where I used to go as a kid with my dad, and also brand new in the El Dorado Hills Town Center. Tell me your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent ya.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Indiana Pacers must win tonight? Question mark. Technically, no. If they don't win tonight, they're just down 2-1. But for what it's worth, Drape says, and I'm with them, if the Pacers don't win tonight, it's going to be very tough, borderline impossible to come back and win this series. Barring, the unforeseen somebody getting hurt or something. So a virtual must win. Really important game for the Pacers tonight. Let's put it that way. Really important for the Pacers at home to assert themselves against OKC Thunder tonight.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Let me stop right there. We've been working together, what? Almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in October.
If we make it.
And we finally developing some chemistry, Whitey.
Yeah.
I finally learned my lesson. Just had a little snack pack of trail mix right here, a little snack pack from Trader Joe's. Came back from break. I'm still chewing.
Still chewing.
Didn't put my headphones on. You recognize that. You stretched a little bit. You
just kind of instinctively felt it. Yeah.
I feel like we're the odd couple, Felix and Oscar, and we finally figured it out. Because you said, Drape, you put your headphones on. I think you're ready. This time I didn't put the headphones on until I was ready. So, man, we have made some progress, ladies and gentlemen.
How about that?
Man, I'm feeling it. I was worried, too. We're coming back, and I'm like, darn, these almonds they're kind of hard to get down. So, thanks for stretching there to start
I just need a sign. If that's a sign, no headphones, I'm good.
Okay,
I'm good.
All right, that's the sign.
By the way, I know we have the Wayback Machine coming up. Speaking of the Wayback stuff, and this goes way back, a lot of people will be like, what? The Odd Couple, one of the great theme songs of any TV show.
You ain't going to have to play that. I mean, I'm not going to produce it for them or anything, but I'm not trying to play producer, but I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah.
That was good.
That's what we need right there this offseason.
I don't even know if TV shows and shows that are streamed, some of them, I don't even know if they have theme songs anymore.
No,
Game of Thrones was great, but I think some of them, they're just like, boom, let's get started.
Into people start talking.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do a top 5. We should do our top 5 theme songs of all time. Because Sanford and Son would be up there for me.
I'm with you, yeah.
That would be up there. That would be up there. How about Laverne and Shirley? Ah, there it is. Look at Jay.
That's a nice song.
That's actually pretty good.
It is.
That's not no studio. That's live instruments right there.
That's not somebody in a synth.
Right, synth. That's good stuff.
Was Odd Couple in the 70s?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
It was originally like a Broadway play, I think. They might have made a movie out of it, then they did the TV show.
Okay. That's a good one.
You guys watch it?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Jay, when I don't know, Crepes is younger than I am, but when I was a kid, you had like 4 channels.
I
You
hear.
know, and one of them had the news. One of them was like public television. So growing
PBS?
up, when you talk about shows like whatever, the Brady Bunch, Odd Couple, everybody watched it,
right?
Because there was nothing else on. And now, you know, everybody has so many. It's way better now, but it was just different then because everyone watched the same shows. There weren't that many shows on.
What was Odd Couple about?
It was about Felix Unger, who was really fussy and neat, like OCD.
Yeah.
And he got thrown out of his apartment by his wife, so he lived with Oscar, who was a messy sports writer.
Right.
Okay.
They were, yeah. That's why they were the odd couple.
You know what's interesting about this, fellas? I was talking to my mom.
I can't believe we're talking about it.
No, this is good stuff, man, because I was talking to my mom about this yesterday. Not the odd couple, but about TV back in the day.
Uh-huh.
We're talking about the kids and everything. And shout out to Mom. I'm sure she's listening right now. You know how different, not only is TV different, but back then, I don't know about you, Whitey. I know you lived in a mansion there. We only had one TV. So we had to watch as a family.
Yeah.
Whatever was on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? At the time, you know, like at night, like we didn't have TVs in our room, no iPads or anything like that. So when the Cosby Show came on, or It's a Different World, or whatever came on, In Living Color, whatever it may be, we all watched together.
Right.
And then, you know, obviously then we got a kitchen TV and a basement TV and things like that. But now, I don't know about, you know, and I got to maybe do a better job, but kids got their iPads. Nick's over in that room on his iPad. Quinn's on her phone in that room.
Right.
I'm watching here. There's no more family TV viewing. What happened to that?
It's inevitable, though.
Yeah.
Just more choices. Yeah.
Yeah.
More things that people can watch. But yeah, do you have movie nights or anything where?
Sometimes.
That's
I'll
one
set
of the
out
cool
big
things
screen.
about sports on TV. Not to drag it back to sports, but you know, when the game's on, you have more people like
Yeah.
the game's on.
But these damn kids, bro, like, Jay, you got a daughter. And Nick's a sports fan, but he cannot watch a game. He wants to see the highlights, or he'll get the alerts on his phone and then go look at, oh, did you see Luka just did this or something? But to sit there and watch a 2-hour game, he'll come in for the last 6 minutes or something like that. But we don't just, and maybe it's only in my household, but how many people sitting and actually watching with their kids nowadays?
Yeah. I know that we loved all those shows. A few years ago, my mother passed away about 11 years ago, and towards the end, she was in a place in Vallejo that was really nice. But we would go there, you know, and we'd visit her on Saturday night, and she had, I think it's Me TV, which is
Oh, got all the old school
stuff.
stuff.
It was so weird,
Yeah.
because me and my brothers and with my mom, and we're watching like the same shows.
Yeah.
Oh, Adam 12's on. Like, what year is this,
dude?
But
I'm telling you, man, I was just back in Philly last month, and my parents, you know, they always sit and watch their shows, and it's like 3 PM, and we sitting there watching Gunsmoke. We were literally watching Gunsmoke.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, Mom and Dad, you know, when do you think this aired? And so we looked at the 1957. So they were kids, like they were like not even 10 yet.
So that was probably in black and white.
It was in
right?
black
Yeah.
and white. And I'm thinking, man, the guy who played the lead in Gunsmoke, he was probably a big star back then. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, James Arness.
Yeah. You know that? Yeah. James Arness, Matt Dillon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got him right here. Yes.
And Miss Kitty. I didn't watch that
Miss
show,
Kitty
but
was
I know
beautiful.
about it.
Yeah, Miss Kitty.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. The episode I saw, some guy was trying to woo Miss Kitty from her husband or something. Oh, it was good stuff. It was, yeah, but they don't make shows like that anymore.
Yeah. You know, they have the Mission Impossible movies, which just finished, and we saw it a couple weeks ago, and it was tremendous. It was really good. But I remember the TV show that it was based on. When I was a kid, Mission Impossible would be on, and my mom and dad like, oh, Mission Impossible. I hated it. I couldn't understand any of it. Like, this is so boring. When is Flipper on?
Right,
you know?
Flipper. That's
It's like,
awesome.
I don't want to watch this. It's boring. I had no idea what was going on.
Do you still watch old shows like Me Too or nah?
No, I would if something's on, but you know, if like I was spending time with my brothers or something, but no, I don't. Do you?
Nah, not really. Although I did sit down with Quinn one day. This was recently, and Different Strokes was on.
Ah.
And I used to always walk around the house. They say something. I'd be like, "What you talking about, Willis?"
Yeah.
And quick, they just thought I made that up. So I put it on one day, and I'm like, "No, I got it from Gary Coleman back in the day." And so I miss the old shows, man. What's happening, Jay? What were you into back in the day?
Well, those were way before my time for the most part.
Oh man, oh my God, I don't even want to know what you were into.
Gunsmoke.
No, I didn't watch Gunsmoke as a kid, bro.
Did you watch like
Gunsmoke came out in 75, so you had it ended in 75, right?
Yeah.
So you just missed it there.
Jay's a
Drake.
big Friends?
Yeah, Friends
You
and all
love
that,
that show.
Seinfeld. That's what Jay grew up on.
And Living Color, of course, Martin, Cosby
Martin,
Show.
Yes.
Stuff like that. Family Matters.
Family
Yeah,
Matters.
definitely. I'm not a Full House guy, but it's right in my wheelhouse. Saved by the Bell. That's in my wheelhouse growing up.
Facts of Life?
That's before my time.
Okay.
Yeah.
You never watched
Sanford
What's Happening?
Son, What's Happening? A little bit before me, but I knew of it, of course.
Good Times with
Good Times
Jimmy
a little
Walker,
bit before
JJ?
me, but
I don't mind.
Dude, these are classics.
Yeah. But obviously, I watched them, but those are a little bit before my time. Yeah, 100%.
Oh man, I miss that.
TV shows now, I say TV shows, I mean the stuff that's streaming, it's so much
Rock.
better. It's so much. And I know we have.
What do you mean better?
Oh,
No, it's not.
Shows
Shows
now.
Better than the
Shows
Beverly
now.
Hillbillies?
Yes, sir.
The Beverly Hillbillies was a
Come on,
classic.
Drapes, come on.
Yes.
I can't watch these new shows, man. I can't get into them.
Some of the stuff is really well done and well written, and you got a little more realistic.
The Munsters?
Munsters was a classic.
Munsters was good, man.
Yeah.
That
Munsters
was good.
no Adam
Eddie and
Sandler.
Company.
Silver Spoon?
Not a fan.
Ah,
Ricky Schroeder was
Come
that?
on, man. You need to
Dukes
stop.
of Hazzard.
No thanks.
What? Daisy Duke? Aaron Gray?
Pass a pass. But it was on right before Dallas, so I sometimes
Dallas.
Oh.
J.R. Ewing. Come on, man. Y'all sell it out, man. Come on. I'm going to go home and watch some Me TV tonight. That's awesome, man. All right.
209 says Jay was all about hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
No
Hang on,
way.
Mr. You like hang with Mr.
Come
Cooper?
on. That's whack, Jay.
What? Are you serious? Hooping with the Warriors, baby.
Yeah.
You guys, oh man. Jay was in the Beverly Hills 9021. Melrose Place, that was you, Jay? I can see that you.
That's definitely.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gilligan's Island. That was a good one.
Knight Rider.
Knight Rider was the
MacGyver.
Oh, I like MacGyver.
Yeah.
I like MacGyver.
Yeah. The A's have a catcher named McIver.
Oh, really?
And I
Okay.
keep waiting for the announcers to make a MacGyver joke, but I realize
They might be
no one's
too
gonna
young.
know.
Yeah,
No one's gonna know.
yeah. What about Moonlighting?
Oh,
Remember
yeah,
Bruce
Sybil
Willis
Shepherd
and
Bruce
yeah,
Willis.
yes. Come on.
I know I didn't watch it a lot, but I remember it.
Yeah, that was a good
ABC,
show.
That was an ABC show, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch some of that this week.
In the House.
Who is
See, that's before. That's after.
In the House?
In the House,
I-
baby.
I feel like I remember.
LL
I
Cool
hear
J and Company.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, In the House, baby. Moesha. Come
Oh,
on.
man. Oh, see, from the 530, old school TV almost always had a learning moment. Andy Griffith was awesome for that. New shows are junk. You watch Andy Griffith's show?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Andy?
Yes.
Man, come on.
Leave It to Beaver?
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Leave It to Beaver was one of the most boringest shows ever.
That's a
Cut
tough
him off.
watch. It's
Cut
a
his
tough
mic
watch.
off.
I think they had a character
Wally
on there
and them?
named Whitey.
Come on, Drake.
I think they had
Lassie,
Whitey on
what
that
else
show.
you want?
Lassie,
Yeah.
Come on.
Wings.
GB, that's a good point. The pacing on those shows, like the 60s, was like, there's nothing happening. Even James Bond movies with like Sean Connery, everyone says, oh, they're so great. You watch, it's like,
Whitey, you're killing me, man.
no, the pace is
I
totally
Dream of
different.
Genie?
Dun, dun,
Yeah, that's
dun,
dope.
dun, dun, dun.
All right. How about to say?
Dun, dun, dun.
How about to say?
Man, so y'all don't know 90 Step by Step.
Step by step,
Yeah.
day by day.
How about this from Ramsey? 227.
227.
Oh, I love 227.
Yeah,
I was into 227. Marla Gibbs was up in that one, I believe.
We're going to find out what
Boy
shows
Meets World.
Kevin,
Wonder
yeah,
Years.
yeah, Mr. Matthews.
I
Mr.
miss
Hunter.
old TV.
Yeah.
man.
We'll find out what shows Kevin Pelton misses when he joins us next on Sacktown Sports.
Whitey here for Napoleon Grills, reminding you that when buying a new grill, every detail matters. While supplies last, you'll receive a $149 gift with purchase on every new Napoleon Prestige stainless steel grill. The kit even includes a pizza lover starter kit and much more. And now up to $79 off Napoleon Rogue models. Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last, with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts amazing quality. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. Try the TrackMan experience, the very best technology to fit your metalwoods and irons. The new cutting-edge putter fitting studio with its $30,000 worth of technology is ready for your fitting. Hagen Oaks will help you find the best putter for your game. Hagen Oaks offers more technology, more choices, and more service. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531, 808-2531 for more.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, inviting you to come join them every Wednesday for their midweek madness drawing, giving away $2,000 in total cash starting at 6 p.m. It's a safe and friendly environment, plenty of well-lit parking available, and it's conveniently located right there in downtown Sacramento. And remember, best food, best service, best games, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Giant Summer Sale and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com. Your one-stop Honda shop.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Just saw a stat here. Tyrese Halliburton, when he has 20 points and 10 assists, the Pacers are 19-1. So people might think, all right, he just has to shoot more. But again, Drake, when he's 20 and 10, that means the offense is humming.
Yes,
it's
getting
not
others
just
involved.
him.
Right, others involved, the others knocking down shots, 100%.
Nice enough to join us, and we'll get him on his way so we can enjoy the game. ESPN Pro Basketball writer Kevin Pelton. How are you today, Kevin?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I have to start with something non-basketball related. What TV show from your childhood do you miss the most, sir?
I guess I would go with Seinfeld.
Okay.
It's definitely finding pop culture thing for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's still there, of course. It's easy to find.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
I wonder, is he a shrimp guy or not? Is he going to the jerk store or not? No. Hey, Kevin, thanks for jumping on with us, man. Obviously a lot to talk about. Let's start. I want to start with the NBA Finals here. And this narrative regarding Tyrese Halliburton, superstar or not, whatever. Where would you say Tyrese is in his career right now?
It's an interesting thought because with great success comes great responsibility, and the shots that he's made and this run that he's led the Pacers onto the finals, it's also increased scrutiny. And, I think that's a tough thing about when every game sort of becomes a referendum on your level of stardom. Superstardom, to me, that's only a handful of players in the league that's reserved for. I don't think Halliburton is quite to that level, but star without question. And I don't think that should be changed based off, the first couple of games of this finals, especially because it shouldn't surprise us that he's going to be a tough time offensively. This is the team that he's scored the least against the last 2 seasons. Against Dort is the defender who he scored the least in individual matchups, who he's faced, at a high rate over the last 2 seasons. This Oklahoma City team in many ways is built to stop players like Tyrese Halliburton. So it's not to be terribly surprising that he's had a hard time getting going in this series.
That's Kevin Pelton, ESPN Pro Basketball writer. Kevin, I know you posted about this. I wanted to ask you, can you give us 1 or 2 lessons maybe that the Kings can learn from the way OKC and the Pacers put their teams together?
Yeah, I think, probably the biggest one has to be patience. And that's been an issue for Sacramento. When you have the kind of drought that they had for a number of years, trying to end that becomes the focus as opposed to, having your eyes on building something that's, more sustainable or has a higher ceiling. And obviously, Indiana's side of the Tyrese Halliburton trade was that, but Oklahoma City has kind of been a masterclass in patience in the way that they, collected draft picks, collected young talent, and allowed it to grow very quickly over a period of time. And now they are starting to reap the benefits of that.
Kevin Pelton joining us. You go check him out on Blue Sky. K Pelton, Blue Sky Social. Kevin, when I look at the Kings roster, it's a little unbalanced, if you will. No point guard. You got a couple of big contracts and Zach and Domantas Sabonis. We got a new GM out here in Scott Perry. How difficult do you think this job is for him to try and turn Sacramento, the Kings, into a contender out west?
I think to your point, it's kind of roster in transition right now because, I think they did a reasonable job at the De'Aaron Fox trade of staying in position to be competitive and play for, a spot in the playoffs, in the play-in after that trade, as well as picking up the draft picks that they did accumulate in that deal. But, it did leave them a little overbalanced on the wing, not quite enough playmaking as you'd want. I think that shouldn't be terribly difficult to resolve in the short term. In the long term, it's the biggest issue is who can be that star player who's going to be, the guy who's carrying us in playoff series, because as terrific as Domantas Sabonis was, and you could probably say this about De'Aaron Fox before the trade, those are guys who are better complementing another star who's even better than them, more than they are, going to be the guys who are going to be the focal point of a team that goes deep in the playoffs. And, Sacramento just has to find that guy, and it's a very difficult thing to do if you don't bottom out in the lottery.
Kevin Pelton with us from ESPN. We know that Scott Perry has said, we don't have a true point guard. It appears that that's one of the things he's focusing on. We'll find out. But, Kevin, my question is, if you were running the Kings or involved in running the Kings, which, if any, of the free agent point guards would you be focusing on right now?
Well, I'd certainly want to give a call to Chris Paul. It's a short flight away from his home in L.A. It's a situation where he'd probably have a chance to play quite a bit. That's clearly been important to him. It doesn't seem like San Antonio is going to be that spot with De'Aaron Fox, and the presumption that if they hang on to the number 2 pick and don't use it in the trade, that they'll probably add Dylan Harper and also have Stephon Castle in the mix. Is a lot of ball handlers down there. Tyus Jones would be someone else who's interesting to me. it was kind of disappointing his season in Phoenix. I don't think he rebuilt his value for free agency the way that he was hoping, but, this is one of the most sure-handed point guards in the league, and somebody's going to come in and really know his role, and I think, fit well alongside the talent that the Kings do have on the way.
Kevin Pelton joining us. Hey, Kevin, it seems like this time, and I know we got the NBA Finals going on, but it seems like there's this anticipation for trade season to start. How soon do you think we'll start seeing things, and how much of a flurry activity will there be this offseason?
I think a lot of it will probably depend on the Kevin Durant trade because, clearly based on the reporting that's out there today, there have been multiple teams that are looking at this possibility. Is, you have to, when a player of Kevin Durant's talent is available, even at this stage of his career, and, he's only going to end up going to one team. There's going to be these other teams that are to be out there and, have considered a trade, maybe thought about making their players available, and, what they end up pivoting into will be interesting to see. I think the other question that helps determine, kind of how active this trade market is going to be is, are people waiting around to see if Giannis Antetokounmpo potentially requests a trade from the Milwaukee Bucks? Because, clearly he would be the number one target if he were to come on the market after, however many All-NBA seasons, first team seasons in a row, former two-time MVP, et cetera. If teams have a realistic expectation that it could happen at some point this offseason, then maybe you hold some of that powder in reserve just in case. If not, then I think that there's maybe a little bit more activity with teams trying to figure out what else they can do to upgrade their rosters.
Kevin, I wanted to ask you about another thing you wrote about, the Pacers, as we get ready for Game 3 here. Where do they rank among the most surprising finalists in NBA history?
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time using the sportsoddhistory.com database and looking at preseason expectations and then going into the playoffs. And, the one team I think that seems like a bigger surprise in terms of making the finals since the ABA-NBA merger, if you go back almost 5 decades, would be the 1981 Rockets. Did it after a season where they went 40-42 and were 500 the year before. So, Indiana clearly was a better bet than that after reaching the Eastern Conference Finals a year ago. But in an East where you had these 261 juggernauts in the Boston Celtics and Cleveland Cavaliers, one of whom the Celtics had swept them in the playoffs a year ago, it was pretty surprising, and I think it has been an incredible run to watch with the Pacers, highlighted by all these comebacks.
Hey, Kevin, my co-host asked you about anything the Kings can take from these two teams. With that being said, when you look at two teams under the luxury tax, not superstar laden, not 3 or 4 stars or 2 or 3 stars. Is this a new era of actual team building in the NBA, you think?
I do think there's an element of that. Now, what makes the Thunder so special and gives them a chance to not only win the championship this year, but, maybe run off a few of them over the next few years is they haven't had to choose. They have the MVP in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, plus probably the deepest team in the league. And, that's the luxury that they've been afforded going back to the Paul George trade and, all the draft picks that they've had and how shrewdly Sam Presti has managed them. But, I think Indiana is maybe a better template in terms of, this is a team that loves to play 9 guys every night throughout the course of the playoff season, even as other coaches, Tom Thibodeau notably, but he's not alone, are really shortening their rotation. They have a couple of, 30% max type players in Halliburton and Siakam, but, not anyone making that much more beyond that, which allows you to facilitate the depth. And then the youth, I do think, is a big factor. You look at a lot of these star-laden teams with veterans that we spend so much time talking about, they aren't here because of the fact that those guys haven't been able to keep it up over, the grueling NBA playoffs, and they haven't had the depth to support this guy. So I do think that is a little bit different model going forward.
Follow him on Blue Sky, Kevin Pelton. Kevin, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. We hope to talk to you again soon. Enjoy the game.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
All right, Kevin.
Very welcome. Speaking of games, Whitey's Wayback Machine Quiz. Kyle Draper, I believe you're defending a championship today.
There's no doubt about that. 100% I'm the champ. That's right. No, damn Skippy, I'm the champ. Let's get it right.
If he can successfully defend. Next on Sacktown Sports.
Louis C.K. in an all-new show, Ridiculous 2025 Tour.
When I was younger, you had to go in the bank. Remember that? You had to go inside the bank. Now you look in the bank, you're like, what are those people doing in there? Are they cleaning? The money's out here.
Friday and Saturday, June 13th and 14th, 8 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit thundervalleyresort.com. Louis C.K. live on stage.
Pro Paint Days are back at Lowe's, and My Lowe's Pro Rewards members can save even more with limited time deals. Right now, buy one, get one half off. Select HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Primer and Ceiling Paint. Plus, get free same-day delivery to your job site when you order by 2 p.m. Offer valid through 6/13. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Chuck McDowell here again. Over the years, I've seen way too many timeshare exit companies pop up, take folks' money, and disappear. I just saw an ad from an exit company started by a couple of bozos that used to work for me. My advice, don't hire bozos out fire. Want out of your timeshare? I'll send you our free timeshare exit info kit explaining your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free kit. 800-329-3737. That's 800-329-3737.
Hi, Sacramento. It's the No Surprise Guys at Bell Brothers Plumbing and Air Conditioning. Need a new water heater? Call Bell Brothers. Need drain or sewer work? Call Bell Brothers. Need a free plumbing estimate? Call Bell Brothers. We don't guess at plumbing and drain problems. We use advanced camera inspections and diagnostics to identify the issues. We're fast, reliable, and respect your time by showing up when we say we will. Our technicians are all background checked, drug tested, and will leave the work area cleaner than they found it. The price we quote is the price you pay. We are the No Surprise Guys, with more technicians, more trucks, and more experience. We get the job done right the first time. No surprises. Don't wait. Call Bell Brothers today for a free plumbing estimate or book online at nosurpriseguys.com. That's nosurpriseguys.com.
Are you thinking about buying a new car? Well, maybe you're on the fence. Let me help you out. Kyle Draper here from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the first time I stepped into the MP of Stockton showroom, I knew I made the right choice. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV. It's comfortable, stylish, and most importantly, it's safe. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. It's just a short drive down I-5 or any time at mbfstockton.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. You know summer is pretty much here, and Father's Day is right around the corner. One way to get dad fired up for Father's Day, trust me, I know, stop into Amy's Outdoor Living and see their ultimate lineup of barbecue grills. We're talking Weber gas grills starting at just $3.99. Traeger Woodridge pellet grills starting at $7.99. That's a great price. Rectech begins at just $5.99. Plus, think about this. Amy's has free setup and delivery. The Gosney pizza ovens, I got one of those, starts at $3.99. Nothing like being out back with your family, making a homemade pizza. Find great gifts for dad like Yeti coolers and comfy hammocks. Amy will pay the sales tax on all in-stock furniture. Family-owned and operated, Amy's Outdoor Living on El Camino near Watt, where I used to go as a kid with my dad, and also brand new in the El Dorado Hills Town Center. Tell me your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent ya.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Thank you for being with us. Thanks to Kevin Pelt for joining us. I think he's an analytics guy, so I don't know what the analytics are for your answers about TV questions, but what do you think, Jay? What do you think, Drapes, his answer? TV show you miss from when you were a kid?
Yeah, what did he say, Seinfeld? I almost cut him off.
If
I had love for KP, I'd have cut him off.
I mean, you know, that's actually, Jay going to hate on it. It's a great show, but not my cup of, like, it's not in my top 5 or 10 all the time.
Yeah, he's just too young.
Yeah,
you know,
he's
to
too
answer
young.
like,
These young cats.
Adam's Family. You know?
Right. Oh, Adam Gomez. Come on, man. Oh, miss those days. Missed those days. What was one we said too just now? Webster.
Webster, yes.
That was a good one.
Yes.
That was a good one.
I still don't understand what that show was. Alex Karras adopted a little kid and
little
that
black
had
kid.
a show.
And yeah. Well, it was like kind of all the odd couple, a small little black kid, a not grumpy, but an older white guy,
Yeah. Mr. Belvedere. Yeah.
Mr. Belvedere.
Wasn't Bob Euchre on Mr. Belvedere?
Yeah, he was, right? Yes. Those were we're going to have fun this summer with this.
We're going to have fun right now. At least one person's going to have fun. Yeah. It's time for Whitey's Wayback Machine Quiz for June 11th. It's brought to you by Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. Kyle Draper is your reigning champion. I think. I'm not
get
sure.
one win in, and all of a sudden he's the belt winner.
Can you confirm that, Drapes? You are the champion.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm positive. Who was I facing? Who did I face yesterday, Jay? Oh yeah, I won.
Not Ramsey.
Not Ramsey or Kyle.
So you lead us off here, Drapes. Here's what we have. This date, what year in the Stanley Cup?
Ooh.
1967, 1977, 1990, 1987. Sorry, those are out of order. And 2003.
87.
1987. It is our closest to.
Mike Schmidt. Jay can go first.
All right, Jay. You ready? Jay is, he's got a number of things that he's got to do to keep us on the air here. It's a basketball question, Jay.
Oh, yeah. Come on, man. Check the box.
This day, 1987, Boston beats the Lakers, Game 5 of the Finals, 123-108. Lakers would come back to win the series. Boston in that game tied a Finals record with how many different players scoring 20 or more points?
5.
Correct.
Yes, sir. I told you. Check
That's
the box.
easy. That's
I'm
easy.
focused. I'm ready to go, Whitey.
Whitey, that was an easy question.
It happened on this date, and it's
That's
a record.
That's a layup.
Yeah.
All right.
Wasn't even left-handed.
Yeah.
All right, Jay.
1-0. Jay, you got the lead, and you're up. This date, what year in the Stanley Cup? 1967, 1977, 1990, 2003.
1990.
You know he ain't touching hockey. You know that.
Judd Bushler.
1990 is the closest too.
Okay, let Drapes go first.
All right, Drapes, this date, 1990. How old is Nolan Ryan when he throws the 6th no-hitter of his career, beating the A's 5-0? This date, 1990.
Which no-hitter was this? His 6th
no-hitter of his career.
Fan Ricky, too. Remember that.
Yes, he
Nolan Ryan
did. It was like Ricky and Ken Phelps. Yeah.
40.
No.
I'm changing my answer. I'm changing my answer.
Okay.
43.
43 is correct.
That's weak. That's weak. That's weak. That's weak.
Jay, don't even try it.
That's weak.
You know
I was changing.
That's
I said 40. Whoa. And then you tried to jump
Because I was going to say 42.
I know.
42. I thought he was 42.
Come on, Jay.
Oh, that's weak.
No, man. Put it on the board.
Let me check down the first baseline, see if he went.
Well, check the tape. Huh?
This is historic. We've had 2 closest twos, and they've both been nailed.
Yes.
So back to Jay, 1-1 game. No, it's actually
it's on Drapes.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's on me now. Yeah.
I apologize. So Kyle Draper, this date, what year in the Stanley Cup? 67, 77, 2003.
2003.
2003. It's a closest.
Yeah, Jay first.
Jay, this date, 2003, a record. How many Houston pitchers combined to no-hit the Yankees 8-0?
It was 9.
9?
Oh, I thought I nailed it.
He did not get that right.
Record, how many Houston pitchers combined to no-hit the Yankees 8-0? This date, 2003. Jay's on the board with 9.
8.
8 is correct.
Oh, I thought I nailed it.
Get him out of here.
2-1. Yeah, it was Roy Oswalt, Pete Monroe, Kirk Sarlus, Brad Lidge, Octavio Dotel, Billy Wagner.
Man, I thought I had it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it. I remember it.
Good match. This is a good match. All right, 2-1. Jay, your turn this day. What year in the Stanley Cup? 1967, 1977.
Let's go 1977.
It's multiple choice.
All right. Yeah. Drapes don't remember this. He was too young.
I don't know if you follow this sport. Horse racing.
I got you.
A little bit.
I know this.
I
already know this.
This day, 1977, Jay. What horse won the Belmont to secure the Triple Crown? Was it Affirmed? Was it Secretariat? Was it Seattle Slew?
Seattle Slew.
That is correct.
Yeah, Seattle Slew. I know this. I know this.
Okay, Jay, I see.
Come on, baby. I told you. Baby. I checked the ponies.
Yeah.
And the Greyhounds. No,
yeah.
not the Greyhounds.
What'd you say about it? You said Affirmed 78?
Yeah.
Yes. Back-to-back.
Back-to-back Triple Crown winners.
Yeah.
Nowadays, the horses don't even run all the
right.
time.
That's terrible. Just terrible.
Yeah. So it is
2-2?
Yes, it's 2-2, and
I'm
you're
up.
up, Kyle Draper. This state, what year in the Stanley Cup? In 1967.
67.
1967 is the closest to.
Jay can go first.
All right, Jay, bear with me.
1967?
Yes.
Okay.
The Cubs and the Mets, this state, 1967. They tied a record for the most combined homers in one game. That's no longer the record. The current record was set by the D-backs and Phillies in 2019. The question, what's the current record most home runs hit by two teams in one major league game?
Current, right now.
Right now.
Okay.
Cubs and Mets did it in 67, but that record has been surpassed. The current record, most home runs in one game by two teams.
And it was that the 2019 game that you speak of, the Diamondbacks?
Is
currently the record?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
Dang, I'm trying to scroll back my memory here.
Number? What a match, 2-2.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I'm going to go with...
throwing haymakers.
I'm going to go with 14.
14.
That's a good guess, Jay.
Kyle Draper, current record. Most home runs hit by two teams in one game.
14. That's a really good guess, Jay. 15.
The answer is
13.
13.
Yes, sir! I remember it was around there, baby.
Lucky. He getting lucky, man. Come on. Broken clock is right twice a
It was
day.
either 13 or 14.
Right. Damn.
I knew it.
So, 1 point left in regulation.
Hockey question.
Jay with the lead, 3-2.
Let me nail this.
Yeah. You ready, Jay?
What year in hockey? NHL?
Yeah.
All right.
You get to hear it at this day, what year, and you can decide after you hear it who goes first.
Let me put him away, Mr. Gleason.
This day, what year in the Stanley Cup? The Los Angeles Kings beat New Jersey.
Yes, sir.
To win their first Stanley Cup.
Yes, sir.
In history.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to go first? Or you want Drapes to go first?
Well, let me, as I just said, let me roll back my memory real quick.
Yeah, let me, 20, carry the one.
I'm going to say.
You're going to go first?
I'm going to let Drapes go first. I'm going to see where Drapes is at. I see where Drapes is at.
LA Kings beat New Jersey to win their first Stanley Cup ever. This day, what
New
year?
Jersey Devils.
That's correct, but you'll get no points for that. It is right.
2000.
All comes down to this, although we could tumble into overtime.
2010.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Okay. 2010. Jay, what do you got? Kings beat New Jersey to win their first Stanley Cup ever. This date, what year for the game?
It was after that. So I want to say my answer is 2011.
It might be like,
but I think it was 13 or 14. Yeah,
you might be right.
Okay, so you gave me
2011. I'm going 2011, but I would have guessed 2013.
I understand. I wanted to make sure. The answer is 2012.
Oh, yes, sir!
I was so
yes, sir!
Oh my God, it was right there.
What a match! There are no losers when we have a match like this, Kyle Draper.
I told you I was going to put him away,
back
champ.
there celebrating and everything.
I told you I was going to put him away.
Damn.
I would have guessed 2013.
Uh-huh.
That would have been my guess.
Yeah. Were you in LA at that time?
I was. That's
okay.
I coincidentally remember them winning almost back to back. But I told the story. I've never seen LA ever take down Laker flags and from people's car and on buildings and replace them with LA Kings. I've never seen that before.
Wow.
Yeah.
I should have known that. I'm psyching myself out.
That was a great match. Great match.
2012 it was?
2012. And they won their second one 2014. 15
Sure.
back to back.
Yeah, if you say so.
I can't say that might come up on tomorrow's quiz.
Right.
Thanks for being with us. Stick around. JR Sports Brief Show is next on Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he